NBC, presented by Verizon.
Very excited about going down to South Bend to play in this game. It's a rivalry game for us.
What does an opponent like Michigan State tell you about your team?
Michigan State's going to play the game with that mental and physical toughness, and you have to match it.
It'll be a great challenge. I'm sure they'll be ready to play. Should be a great football game.
119 years. Not many things in sports, not many things in America last that long.
Michigan State, the Fighting Irish. It's going to be a dandy football game.
So when you come across something that does, like this rivalry, there are real reasons it still matters. There's, of course, the history, a reminder of the wins, the losses, and, of course, the tie.
That is the end of the football game with Michigan State 10 and Notre Dame 10.
There's the fact that there's almost always something at stake when they meet. Like tonight in South Bend, when it's very simply about survival.
We've got to take one more step up. We got Michigan State coming in here next week.
But for decades, what has set this game apart
He's into the end zone.
Is what's come to define these programs.
The Spartans celebrate in South Bend.
This is a clash of football elite and blue-collar grit. A collision of revered tradition and champions built on toughness.
Notre Dame caught flat-footed.
And this contrast in perception and in reality between the Fighting Irish and the Spartans is revealed once more tonight.
It's intercepted by Notre Dame.
This is the latest chapter. This is why Notre Dame, Michigan State still matters.
And live from South Bend, it's Saturday night at Notre Dame Stadium. Sold out for the 251st consecutive time. 80,000 here to see a rivalry renewed. Brian Kelly's 18th ranked Irish coming fresh off a confidence-building win here last week over Nevada. And now their star quarterback Deshaun Kaiser faces one of the nation's most respected defenses. On the other side, it's Mark D'Antonio's team, the reigning champs in the Big Ten. Ranked 12th, but they've only played one game. That was 15 days ago. So we're going to learn a lot about senior quarterback Tyler O'Connor and the 2016 Spartans tonight. It is a night to celebrate one of college football's greatest games, that 10-10 tie between the Irish and the Spartans 50 years ago, and nearly 70 from the Notre Dame program who were involved in that game on the field down below right now. Quite a night here in South Bend. Good evening. Welcome to Notre Dame Saturday in primetime. I'm Mike Tirico. 78th meeting between Michigan State and Notre Dame, two great traditional powers and what Midwestern football is all about. And their resurgence back to the elite status nationally, it traces a parallel path in large part thanks to the men in the head football coach's office. It's going to be fun and maybe the key to the game when it's Brian Kelly's Irish offense against Mark D'Antonio's Spartan defense. Michigan State was a playoff team last year. This is probably their toughest road test of the season. Meantime, for the Irish, let's be honest, if you lose two of your first three, you're probably not getting to the college football playoff. Thus, tonight is a pivot point in the Notre Dame season. Heisman Trophy winner Doug Flutie and Catherine Tappan join me before kickoff. But first, we go down to the field. Liam McHugh and Dahani Jones and the U.S. Bank NBC Sports Report. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening. It's getting loud down here, a lot of energy, and why not? You heard all about the tradition, the history. These two teams first met up back in 1897. But, Dahani, they haven't met up since 2013. So for some of the guys, tonight is a first, and that includes Michigan State quarterback Tyler O'Connor, a fifth-year senior, but just his third career start. What's he walking into?
I remember the first time I walked into the same scenario right here in South Bend at this stadium. I was overwhelmed, and I remember the first play I walked into the line of scrimmage. I thought the Notre Dame offense were giants, right? I was overwhelmed by it. But then I said to myself, look, you played for the University of Michigan. Suck it up. Make a play. Let's go. And that's what Tyler O'Connor is saying to himself right now.
That's a great pep talk. We're expecting a physical matchup. Mike mentioned it, that classic Midwestern matchup. Players have said it'd be a battle of wills. It'll test your manhood. If it plays out that way, who's the key guy for Notre Dame?
Josh Adams. He's mentally tough. He's physically tough. And when he gets to the second level, what I love so much about him, he's just like Jerome Bettis. It doesn't take one person, two people. It takes three people to pull him down. He's a physical, tough-minded individual.
Adams and that Notre Dame offense putting up 43 points per game over their first two games. Who's the one guy out there tonight who can absolutely disrupt all that?
Number 4, Malik McDowell. He's 6'6", 280 pounds, and he can play pretty much every position on that defense. He sets the tone for them. And if he comes across the line of scrimmage, look, last year he had 13 tackles for loss. So if today he gets those tackles for loss, it's going to be all about Michigan State.
He's got the size, he's got the talent, he also has the confidence. He says he is the best defensive lineman in the country. Held a chance to prove it tonight here in primetime under the lights. Kickoffs coming up.
It's a tremendous rivalry that we have with Notre Dame.
Let's go, baby! Last couple times we played them, they beat us.
The Irish come out on top of Michigan State.
The win against Michigan State will be that edge that sends us over the top.
With that megaphone in our hand, I think we'll be able to tell the world that we're here to play.
We want
the megaphone.
That's the trophy that goes to the winner here tonight, number 12 and number 18 on Notre Dame football on NBC, presented by Verizon. It rained a little bit this morning, but wow, is it perfect now. Temperature in the mid-70s. We'll get down in the upper 60s by the time we're done. No rain in the forecast as the Irish now get set to come out of that north tunnel. Yeah, that slap on the play like a champion today sign for strength and support. The Irish know the stakes here tonight. Margin for error gone after the loss to Texas in the opener in overtime. In a game that promises to be physical and tough and intense. It's always that way when the Spartans and the Irish meet. The history that dates back to 1897. And here come the Irish. Brian Kelly 3-1 against Michigan State during his Notre Dame days. There's Deshaun Kaiser, the quarterback, try to continue an Irish streak. They've won the last 3 meetings between these two teams, although they did not meet the last 2 years. There is Mark D'Antonio, the 60-year-old head coach of the Spartans. Stone-faced, serious. They're all about business. They're all about ball. They're ready to take the field from 150 miles away in East Lansing. Here comes MSU. Since the Spartans were last here 3 years ago and they lost, they're 34-4. Mark D'Antonio's team has been a top 6 team in the nation each of the last 3 seasons when all is said and done. He used to coach at Cincinnati. The man who followed him at Cincinnati is Brian Kelly, the head coach of the Irish, and he's standing by with Catherine Tapper.
Coach, you know what you're going to get from Michigan State with a very punishing and physical defense. What are the challenges that presents to you on offense?
Well, continuing to be balanced. You know, if you're one-dimensional against them, then they really dictate how the game goes. So being able to get a running game out of a defense that really makes it hard to run the football. And then when we get our opportunity, we're going to have to make some plays down the field with some young, inexperienced wide receivers against some man-to-man coverage.
You told us your team made significant improvements on defense from week 1 to week 2. How do you take the next step tonight?
Against quality competition, the team that played in the Final Four last year. So, well, it's a great measuring stick for us in terms of the improvement that we need to make each and every week with a team that's really, you know, just finding itself.
Coach, thank you very much. And guys, as documented last week, defensive back Sean Crawford suffered a torn Achilles in that game. He had successful surgery on Thursday, but he is out for 9 months, leaving an already young and inexperienced secondary that much thinner. The good news for Notre Dame on offense, senior wideout Torrey Hunter Jr. is back after suffering a concussion in week 1 against Texas. Mike?
All right, Catherine, thank you. I'm here with Heisman Trophy winner Doug Flutie. Hey, if you say Michigan State to anyone in the country, what do they say? Physical team. Going to get a physical game. What does that mean for Notre Dame's defense here tonight?
I think it's a big challenge for them. I think it means they got to strap it up, put the big boy pads on, and get after it. They face deception. They've tempoed offenses, speed, Now they got a team that's coming right at you, and it is a big challenge.
All right, what about Michigan State offensively? What are they going to do?
What they do is they line up and they try to hammer the football at you and hit a big play and play action. They have multiple tight end sets. They use extra offensive linemen. They even have a fullback in there. They got a real fullback that actually smashes it in there. So they'll come at you, pound it, try to hit a big play action.
All right, what are you looking for when Notre Dame has the ball on offense?
I think they're going to be Notre Dame. Deshaun Kaiser, quarterback, spread offense, distribute the ball. Josh Adams in the running game. And Deshaun Kaiser's biggest attribute is the job he does at the line of scrimmage, getting in and out of plays.
Two experienced quarterbacks who will be handling a lot at the line of scrimmage, so not much looking over to the sideline to the coaching staff for plays. Guys can handle this on the field. Teams will huddle up. It's a little bit of old-fashioned feel to this matchup, isn't it?
Absolutely. They're going to be in huddles. The Notre Dame defense has got the option to huddle, but they don't know how to. They've never done it. They're going to see a team that huddles up on offense.
It is a great setting for this one as well, with the 80,000 on hand and set for the renewal of a great college football rivalry that has spanned 3 different centuries. We talk about this matchup, and you see Mark D'Antonio, whose name has been made on the defensive side of the ball, second only to Duffy Daugherty in Michigan State history in terms of wins. He's won 88 games. Brian Kelly has a great familiarity with the state of Michigan from his days at Grand Valley State and at Central Michigan before that stop we mentioned a moment ago with the Bearcats at Cincinnati. Toss won by the Spartans. They deferred to the second half. That's fine with Brian Kelly. Whether he wins the toss or somebody defers to him, he likes to get the ball first, and C.J. Sanders can give you good field position. Kevin Cronin, senior from Traverse City, Michigan, set to kick it off. Let's do this. The Spartans and the Irish in prime time on a Saturday night from South Bend. Sanders from the 1. And an opening to the side for Sanders. A flag is down in a second one as Sanders in a foot race with the kicker Cronin, who will not catch him, but again, those 2 flags down. And you can even hear the muted reaction from the Notre Dame fans, who otherwise would be going bonkers on a 100-yard kickoff to start the game for touchdown. But the Big Ten officials are down there. I think everybody in the house knows this is coming back.
During the return, holding on the receiving team, number 21, 10-yard penalty, first down Notre Dame.
Veteran Big Ten referee Dan Capron will lead this Big Ten crew tonight. It comes back because of Jalen Elliott's infraction. You see the pull down with Elliott there, as he had a hand on Grayson Miller, and 2 flags came in. They saw it right away, so Jalen couldn't get away with it. But if you haven't seen Sanders, that's a little bit of the excitement he brings, especially in the open field, Doug.
He gets the ball on hit screens, wide receiver stuff, screen passes down the field. Every time he touches the ball, he looks like he's taking it.
So it looked like it was going to start with a bang. Instead, it will start with the Irish backed up at their own 10-yard line. Josh Adams is the running back alongside Kaiser. He's wearing the number 1 jersey awarded each week. As Kaiser's first pass is complete to the sideline, and it's Torrey Hunter Jr. back in the lineup, as Catherine told you, and a gain of 18 to the 28-yard line.
Torrey Hunter's lined up on the outside, and Kaiser just shows great patience and allows it to develop. We hear about man coverage. No, this is zone. They're backed off. He waits. They get depth. He hits the outlet down to the outside.
Officially, they give him 19 yards, and from the 29, it's the first give to Josh Adams. Big back will be involved in this game. He gains 5 to the 34 before Monte Nicholson, the safety, makes the stop. The Irish up front. They'll be blocking for Adams, Hunter, Sanders, Equinemius St. Brown, who has a good start to this season with 11 catches in the first 2 games. Mike McGlinchey and Quentin Nelson lead the left side. That's the strong side, and McGlinchey is the best of the bunch. They'll be tested by Michigan State's front tonight. Adams, great first move. Spins away from the safety's tackle, gets the first down at the 40-yard line.
Gain of 7 for Adams, the sophomore from Pennsylvania.
It's great vision, cutting it backside. Notre Dame needs to run the football, and this is just great vision. It's designed to go up inside. He sees the crease on the backside, puts a foot in the ground, and just goes. McGlinchey seals his guy to the outside, and he's off and running. Steady diet of Josh Adams.
This could be a 20 carry type game for Adams. Kaiser, pass incomplete, in and out of the hands of Equinemius St. Brown, the sophomore from California, who has had the good performances against Texas and against Nevada. Here is that Spartan defense we talked about. If there's one player you want to watch, take your eye off the ball for a minute here tonight. Malik McDowell, number 4 from Detroit, Southfield High School, real deal. Linebackers are good. Reschke missed the first game. He's back in the lineup for the Spartans. Deontay Copeland and Hicks, those 2 corners, always tested when you play against Michigan State. That's an incomplete pass, and Brian Kelly is rightfully irate because it seemed like there was a tackle before the ball even got to C.J. Sanders. Copeland, the man I was talking about, the early tackle.
Sanders is trying to run a screen here, and he's just getting tackled. It's just the ball's not there. That's interference. That's defensive holding. I don't care what you want to call it. That's a penalty.
In truth, it's an inexcusable miss by an officiating crew, and it sets up 3rd and 10. Here you see a little bit what we were talking about. Kaiser recognizing Riley Bullough, what he plans to do. He drops back. It's only a 4-man rush. As Kaiser is flushed, fires on the run, incomplete. The coverage was good. The intended receiver was Torrey Hunter Jr. So after that early couple of first downs picked up, no penalty for pass interference, and Notre Dame will kick it away.
23, Chris Fry comes flying through from your left side. He creates the pressure, pushing Kaiser out of the pocket, nowhere to go with the ball. They will blitz their 3rd down package for Michigan State. A lot of looks.
Tyler Newsome will punch it away for Notre Dame. Struggled a bit against Texas. Found himself a bit more against Nevada. Does not get his best kickoff. It's more of a line drive. It's only going to go, let's see, 35 yards, and Michigan State will take over at the 24-yard line. So the seesaw season here in September continues for Newsome. Spartans ball on offense for the first time. South Pavilion right outside the stadium here, the site of the pet rally last night. We all went over. It's a treat to be there. All Notre Dame home football games, including tonight's telecast, available in ultra-high definition 4K on DirecTV. Tyler O'Connor, captain, senior from Lima, Ohio. This is his 3rd start. His first one came at Ohio State. The Spartans went on the road and got a huge win. His 2nd road start is in South Bend in prime time. Quickly they get it in the hands of R.J. Shelton. They run him a lot, and Shelton taken to the sideline. And as you see, there's going to be a lot of looking at each other after physical hits in this one. So R.J. Shelton, L.J. Scott, those are the 2 big guys handling the ball. Monty Medeiros had a pretty good game in the outing against Furman. Up front, they'll interchange a lot of players, including at center. Brian Allen up front is one of their best offensive linemen and has a ton of experience. Scott with that carry, and LJ's a couple shot of the first down. He's a 6'1", 230-pound sophomore from Hubbard, Ohio. We talk about Michigan State lining up. What do?
They're going a little no huddle, a little tempo. They know that in the past Notre Dame has had fits with it.
Out of the hands of O'Connor, quickly passes caught on the wing by Scott. And he's wrestled down just past the line, and that'll be a first down. He got over the 44-yard line before a man will be very active tonight. Middle linebacker Niles Morgan made the tackle for the Irish, but it's a Spartan first down.
Number 3, Scott on the wide side here, taking the hitch screen. Gets a couple of really nice blocks, but the numbers are in Notre Dame's favor, but he still manages to pick up the first down.
So the first hand making contact on the ball is Drew Tranquil. Had the hit and forced it loose just for a second, but Scott secured it. He has not seen much in the passing game. Only 3 receptions last year. Shy of the 35. Once again, it is Scott. And he'll get just a little more than 3 yards to set up 2nd and 7. The Spartans do that a lot. So this Notre Dame defense, Doug told you all the challenges they've seen, the different type teams. Get another challenge. You know, Daniel Cage committed to Michigan State originally. Watch his motor as he runs against the Spartans tonight.
Onualu, Coney, but Morgan inside especially can be a big factor in a physical game. In the secondary, Catherine told you at the top about Sean Crawford's injury, so Nick Coleman, who was targeted in the Texas game, came back and played some last week against Nevada. You know the Spartans will be testing him at some point tonight. Option look, O'Connor keeps and gains a couple of yards. Doug, tell me a little bit about O'Connor, a fifth-year senior, one of those program guys we used to see a lot of in this sport.
Fifth-year senior, stuck around, could have transferred, was backing up Connor Cook, and he waited his time. He knew this offense before his opportunity came, and he made it count against Ohio State last year.
Spartans go 5 wide, 3rd and 4. Notre Dame brings Morgan with pressure. The pass is caught by the fullback, Prescott Line. Did he get to the line? He's going to be short, it appears, from the initial spot. Let's see where they put it down. He needed to get to the 45-yard line. And Cole Luke, the corner, made the stop. It is just shy. And we'll see Mark D'Antonio's decision of 4th and short. Sending out a tight end and also sending out a speed player in Donnie Corley Jr., the freshman, at least lining up to go for it on 4th and 1. It's a keeper, and spinning and turning his back is the 6'3" Tyler O'Connor, and Michigan State has a first down.
You know, O'Connor's basically their passing quarterback, the guy that runs the offense extremely well, in and out of plays, in and out of protections. But he is very efficient running the ball. Had a big 4th down conversion in their first game. Terry, the backup, is more the option kind of guy. But he stayed in there and ran the ball extremely well. Very efficient. I wouldn't say he's explosive, but he can move.
Hair of a surprise there on 4th and 1 at your own 44 early in the game. Go for it and get it.
That's trust in your offensive line.
They motion it to R.J. Shelton. He's just a ghost to kind of go chase as they hand it off to L.J. Scott. They'll only gain a yard or two. Those linebackers, Coney and Morgan there. Doug, this is a linebackers type game for the Irish.
They got to get tough, stick their nose in there, because that was an unbalanced line. There were three offensive linemen to the left side here. These are all offensive linemen. Run the ball behind that. On the 4th down play, there were 2 tight ends plus a big fullback in there. They're going to have some power formations where there's a lot of beef.
So 55 over there, Miguel Machado. He's usually the right tackle, so they put both tackles on the same side. 2nd and 8, couple of fakes. O'Connor looked deep. It was deep. It was covered, but comes back to Shelton. It's a nice job with the catch. That'll move the chains. First down into Irish territory at the 43-yard line, a pickup of 9.
That was Andrew Trembetti, the defensive end, dropping out in coverage on his own blitz. This is a great throw. He stands tall and he back shoulders it, and Sheldon turns, catches the ball in the back. Very nice touch on the ball. He hasn't feel O'Connor where to place the ball, his rhythm. I really like this kid.
You mentioned Damian Terry, the other quarterback who played in the game against Ohio State last year when Connor Cook was hurt. He's at the top of the screen. So both quarterbacks in right now for the Spartans. Just deception as they hand inside to Scott, and he'll gain a yard. You know, Doug, we don't know what Michigan State 2016 is. We mentioned a couple of times they only played one game against Furman, then had a bye week. So Mark D'Antonio said, we've had 6 weeks of camp and the start of the season. We've only played one game, and it wasn't their crispest, best game.
So they want to line up and hit. They want to line up and hit somebody. They're tired of hitting themselves and practicing against themselves. But they're finding out for themselves who are their big-time players.
This is 2nd and 9. O'Connor over the middle, incomplete. Try to squeeze it to Donnie Corley Jr. You mentioned that freshman they like a lot. Morgan, the linebacker, in coverage. 3rd and long coming up.
Excellent job of going through progression. He doesn't force the ball down the field. He tried to dump it off, but Morgan was all over the back. Very calm feet in the pocket for O'Connor.
Personnel confusion here at Notre Dame's defense. Brian Van Gorder was trying to get the right unit on, but because Michigan State subbed, they had time to get it right. 3rd and 9.
Well, people are huddling up.
O'Connor escapes. They're not going to get anywhere near. Pushed out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Greer Martini, as you're seeing a lot of linebackers play and some sub-personnel for the Irish in this opening drive. It'll set up fourth down.
It's actually Dalen Hayes, number 9 from the right, avoiding the block and creating pressure, which kind of spooks O'Connor out to the left. No chance of getting the first down. A little push. I'll tell you what, you get near the sideline, just make sure he's getting out of bounds, because it's borderline. You know he's going out of bounds. Don't give the official a reason to pull that flag out.
It's 4th and 6, so the Spartans will punt. Jake Hartbarger's going to try to keep it away from C.J. Sanders. Do not want to give him an opportunity, if you're Michigan State, to get his hands on it. Hartbarger drops it down nose first. Tough to catch. Caught at the 9 by Sanders. So a 30-yard punt, all net. Each team's had it once halfway through the opening quarter. No score on this Saturday night in South Bend. National Championship banners. 1966 is the year that historically intersects with Michigan State, the 10-10 tie. And that team is being honored here this week. Well, Deshaun Kaiser, Doug, winning the job with the impressive performance at Texas and another very solid performance against Nevada here last week.
Yeah, I mean, the job he does at the line of scrimmage, he's so consistent because he knows what's going on around him.
That starts at the 9. The read to give to Josh Adams, who had no options, nowhere to go. That's the man we talked about at the top, Malik McDowell. He and Demetrius Cooper in on the tackle for the Spartans.
McDowell's right over the center in the guard center gap. There he is. He is freakish athletically. He's long. He's 6'6". He gets off blocks. He can run plays down. He has the ability to be big time.
That's what's going to be interesting to see. Can Notre Dame run between the tackles against the likes of Cooper and Williams and McDowell up front for the Spartans? Loss of 3 on first down. Another read. And Adams takes it across the 10, so it'll be 3rd and 9 for the Irish.
We were talking about Kaiser. Last week, he checked a speed option down by the goal line on a 4th down play that they had never practiced. They practiced the play, but he never practiced going to that check. And he just did it because he liked the look, and he went to something. And he has total control of this offense.
Well, now he's going to spread the Spartans out. They have 4 wide receivers and your tight end for 3rd and 8, backed up at your own 11. Michigan State doesn't jump into nickel 5 defensive backs very often. They'll sometimes use linebackers in coverage. Here they've gone to 5 DBs. Kaiser hit as he throws. That pass is complete at the 20-yard line. It'll be Corey Holmes and a Notre Dame first down. Just shy of the 20 for the junior from Pembroke Pines in South Florida.
Boy, Kaiser stands in there. Fry gets to him and delivers a blow. Throws low and away. Caught out in the hands. I don't believe the ground helped him on the catch.
As the nose of the ball hit the ground, it came loose a little bit. That does require a second look.
If it moved, it's incomplete.
That's a correct stoppage by Robert Welch, the replay official from the ACC up top, buzzing down.
The previous play is under further review.
The ball can touch the ground as long as you have control of it when it does. The question is...
That left hand moved on the ball, which allowed the tip of the ball to probably hit the ground. If they get another angle, that would be better.
Catch or no? We'll tell you after this. While we were away, they announced the call was confirmed as a catch. So not just stands, but confirmed that Corey Holmes held on to this long enough.
I kind of think this is maybe it stands at best. I saw both hands move on the ball, and the ball touched the ground.
The Irish pick up the first down on 3rd down. Got the 22 tight ends in to block for Adams. And Josh will be spun after a gain of nearly 4 yards. Evan Jones with the tackle. If you have not been with us last week, the Nevada game, or if you didn't watch Notre Dame, Texas, the number 1 jersey is being awarded on a week-to-week basis. It's number 1 representing the winningest percentage in college football history, which Notre Dame has. It's awarded each week to a player. It's Adams this week. Kaiser keeping, throwing, and it's Equanimeous St. Brown down the sideline. St. Brown inside the 30-yard line. Great read in keeping the pass option alive, and St. Brown fooled the corner for a 49-yard gain.
First, he does a great job at the play or the zone read, makes the correct read, but when he gets out on the corner, Copeland leaves the receiver, St. Brown, and breaks forward. He stayed behind the line of scrimmage so could make the throw.
Now Kaiser swinging to Adams in the open field, trying to cut back, but Riley Bulla would have none of that. He and John Reschke, the linebackers, on the tackle. Just a
Great read on the zone read initially. Then he's on the perimeter, and Kaiser intentionally took his time because he knew the corner was in a bind. Copeland came up and he dumps it over his head.
Flips the field. St. Brown, who has had a very good start to his sophomore season, had only one catch as a freshman for the Irish. Josh Adams is out. Tarian Folston in at running back. He picks up the pressure off the corner. A flag is down as that pass is incomplete. Trying to get C.J. Sanders against the Spartan zone defense. We'll check the flag.
Personal foul. Hands to the face. Defense, number 98. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's the junior Demetrius Cooper.
Cooper's a guy they believe is a lot like Shalik Calhoun, who left last year. He was a phenomenal passer. There, the hand up in McGlinchey's face mask under the chin. No doubt about that call. This was a rare errant throw for Kaiser, where he had a clean lane and an open curl route and just sailed the ball.
Mark D'Antonio was unhappy about that stat you see on the screen. Did not like the sloppy 10 penalty performance in the opener in East Lansing 15 days ago. Irish in the red zone at the 15. And it is Folston up the middle. Gains 8 just inside the 7-yard line. And the Irish on the ball quickly. Going tempo down here against the Spartans. Second and short. The read right back to Folston. Good spin move. First and goal for Notre Dame at the 3. Ball comes out after he is down by the Monte Nicholson tackle.
Well, both of the last 2 plays. The right side of the line doing a great job just caving things down. Alex Bars on both plays just had crushing blocks, caving that side down.
And that's not the side that gets the acclaim for Notre Dame. We're talking about the left side, but Bars 71, McGovern 62, doing the job. Notre Dame puts trips way to the bottom of the screen, to the boundary. And it'll give Kaiser a chance to count who's up in front of him in the box. And he'll run option to the left and pick to Folston. Into the end zone. The flag comes down. We'll see if it's a touchdown. The flag comes down as the blocking happened right past the mesh point.
Right at the end, Durham Smythe tried to stay with the block, and he blocks from behind. He tried to double back and seal his man.
During the run, illegal block in the back. Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
You're all over it, Doug. Smythe, the tight end from Texas, the senior with the flag.
He initially makes contact, but he loses his block. All right, let him go. Cox comes up to make the play. He stayed after him. Even though it wasn't much of a block, he still dove at him from behind and made contact. The amazing thing there to me is Kaiser audibilizing again to the option because he gets the proper look.
So that's twice the Irish have brought the ball into the end zone, but called back the opening kickoff. Return for touchdown, but it was a penalty. And that one, Kaiser quarterback draw. Angling to the 10. Kaiser, good move at the 5. Kaiser into the end zone. Touchdown Irish.
Quarterback draw all the way. Mustapha center gets upfield on the linebacker. Fry makes contact. Deceiving speed to the outside. And then St. Brown working his tail off as a receiver, blocking for his quarterback downfield.
Equanimous St. Brown got the block on Viante Copeland on the edge, and he held that as Deshaun Kaiser takes it down the field. A 91-yard drive. Justin Yoon adds the extra point.
They converted a third down, backed up inside their own 10, had a 49-yard play where Kaiser kept it and flipped it to St. Brown. And you saw Deshaun Kaiser, the mental and the physical combination of skills, leading the Irish to the opening touchdown drive of this match with the Spartans. Tuesday, 7 Central on NBC. What a shot. That is a beautiful night here. Final Saturday of summer in South Bend. Deshaun Kaiser. If you didn't watch the Texas game with appreciation for the skill set, because the quarterback battle was going on, it was going to be Kaiser or Malik Zaire. If you didn't see him against Nevada, a reminder of the 11 games he started, the 8 wins, and the growth of the terrific junior quarterback. Justin Yoon directionally kicking. It is fielded just shy of the 10-yard line and brought back by Delton Williams. And Michigan State will start at its own 25-yard line with their quarterback, Tyler O'Connor. Well, we mentioned it when he came out, Doug. He had that start when Connor Cook was hurt last year at Ohio State. And he's a quarterback who understands the system and understands everything that goes with the game. The question now is, can he be a dynamic leader, not just in terms of his personality, but his play for this Michigan State offense this year?
I think the fact he's so comfortable in it and been around these guys so long, he has been a leader even when he wasn't playing. And he stepped up on a big stage at Ohio State, and here at Notre Dame Stadium is his second road start. I mean, the kid, there's no situation too big for him.
We'll start from the 25 and give it to L.J. Scott, 4-yard run to the 29. We mentioned that he grew up in Ohio, but he's no stranger to Notre Dame football. He got the chance to come here as a young kid and experience Irish games. As he said to us, Tyler O'Connor, I live in an O'Connor family. Do you not think the family loved Notre Dame? He was not recruited by the Irish, so the green in the house has kind of changed to Spartan green a little bit. But he comes into this stadium with a great emotional feeling for having been here as a fan when he was a kid. 50-year senior from Central Catholic High School in Lima, Ohio. 2nd and 6 run up the middle. Scott is stopped. Loss of 2 yards on that one. Jay Hayes with the tackle. It's going to be 3rd and probably about 8 coming up.
They missed the kick-out block up in there. They actually have a very good fullback in line. He misses the block going through the hole, and all of a sudden, bang, with the right shoulder. I believe it's Jay Hayes.
Hayes was in there. Matter of fact, now it's Dalen Hayes, the true freshman. And Julian Okwara is in there as well, another freshman. So more bodies seen on this Notre Dame defense. Trying to get a pass rush. They have no sacks this year. It's 3rd and 8. O'Connor over the middle. Beautiful diving catch by R.J. Shelton. It's a Spartan first down at the 43-yard line and a gain of 17.
Sheldon is out on the outside, and he's going to change release with the slot receiver and come underneath him, which gives him a free release up the field. Beautiful diving catch, ball a little out in front. If he got that on the numbers, he was running.
Shelton is their most experienced receiver, a multi-dimensional player. He has 11 career touchdowns, receiving, rushing, and as a return man as well. And now Damian Terry, the other quarterback, comes in to take the snap as O'Connor comes out as a receiver. And Terry is hit by Niles Morgan and hit hard by the Irish middle linebacker. When they see Terry, they're thinking, like you said earlier, Doug, option football.
You have to be thinking, Ryan. His forte is option football, running the football. But like I said about O'Connor, when he had opportunities to run the ball a couple weeks ago, in very crucial situations, he ran it well. But there's no doubt Terry's more explosive.
Final half minute of this opening quarter. Deshaun Kaiser touchdown, run the difference. Pressure off the corner from Notre Dame. O'Connor fires complete to Monty Medeiros, who made a man miss. And Medeiros in open space to the 23-yard line. So the Spartans flip the field with the catch and the reception by the 5th-year senior from Cincinnati, a 32-yard gain.
Michigan State took 4 receivers to the field, leaving Coleman on an island, one-on-one, a lot of cushion. And Medeiros is a big-time player. He doesn't have blazing speed, but he's going to be big-time.
O.J. Scott with the run to the left, and buzzing up from the corner spot is Coleman after missing the tackle in open space. He gets Scott down as this first quarter comes to an end. Only touchdown from the Irish. Spartans responding on their second drive. After 1,
It's Notre Dame 7, Michigan State nothing. We'll return to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your local NBC station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC, presented by Verizon. We get set to start the second quarter. Our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Whether you're going for it from a few yards out or from miles away, go with a tire with superior performance. Goodyear, more driven. Sun has set. Evening here in South Bend. Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan. Second quarter. Irish 1-1. Spartans 1-0 on this young season. Michigan State will take on Wisconsin next week. It starts Big Ten schedule. Irish in the middle of a 3-game stretch at home, beating Nevada last week. Next week they play Duke. But after the loss to Texas, a very important game for Notre Dame's season here tonight. It's the second drive for Michigan State, another good one. Quarter starts with 2nd and 11 and a shovel pass in tight quarters to Josiah Price, who's a captain for this game. And the Indiana native gets about a yard, so it will be 3rd and long for the Spartans.
It's a shovel pass, and as you said, in tight corners. 64 Clemens pulling around. He thinks it's a big play running up and through, but from the backside, Jerron Jones runs it down. I love shovel passes. They keep the completion percentage up. I mean, you take a 50% passer to a 65% like that.
He had the lineman getting out in front of him. Nice job on the read by the Irish. And again, with some of that youth, Notre Dame inserts Aquara and Dalen Hayes on each end. 3rd and 10. Irish bringing a twisting 5-man rush. O'Connor fires. It's deflected in the air and intercepted. Devin Stunstill comes down with a deflection. And he's got some blocking if he can pick it up. The quarterback, O'Connor, takes him down at the 33-yard line. That might have been the lineman, Dalen Hayes, coming back to get the deflection and cause the interception. Freshman, true freshman, Skyline High School, Ann Arbor, Michigan. Hayes dropping back in coverage.
He's running with the slot receiver. Hayes, number 9 in the middle, reaches back and gets a hand on it. Just a phenomenal play for a defensive end.
Absolutely. At 6'3", 250. Hayes had shoulder problems last year, his last year in high school. He was a USC commit at one point, played limited action last year, but Brian Kelly's been very impressed the way he's come along, and some of these young guys getting seasoning, and his deflection allows Stunstill, another freshman, to come up with the interception. So red zone turnover for the Spartans, and Josh Adams is the back from the 33. Kaiser eludes the blitz, but will be brought down. And nearly injured. Dowell trying to pull the ball away, nearly a fumble, but Kaiser able to hang on. Good pressure by the sophomore from Ohio.
Well, it's Riley Bullock coming up through the stunt, and he's through cleanly. Josh Adams missed his pickup, I assume, and Kaiser had no way out. Man, you get in the pocket and you put that ball away, tuck it away, live to play another down.
That was the last thing I saw. Dowell's hand on that.
It looked like it was ready to come out.
It did. That was quarterback hand strength. Loss of 6 on the sack. Zone read. Adams up the middle, gains a couple of yards.
I think it's 92 Williams coming off a block, sliding across. Unbelievable. That's McDowell coming off his block, number 4. There wasn't enough movement anyway, but McDowell just throws his guy to the side and slides over and says, "I'll take this one."
Notre Dame's done this now a couple of times. No backs in the game. 4 receivers in the tight end, Smythe. Michigan State drops 8 in coverage. 3rd and 13. And Kaiser is pursued and brought down. It's going to be just a gain of a yard. Not technically a sack, but that Malik McDowell pressure continues. This guy gets wherever he wants to go. Terrific player.
3rd down packages are complicated, so you try to spread them out to simplify it for the line. It doesn't matter. Cooper's getting pressure. McDowell around the edge. This defensive line can come. Between Cooper and McDowell are 2 great, and if they're great pass rushers. If they're on opposite sides, there's usually nowhere to run, nowhere to hide.
Tyler Newsom to kick it away. See if this one's better. It's a tumbling kick. It'll get good yardage as it'll go out of bounds. It'll be over a 50-yard kick and give the Spartans a long field. With just 3 minutes and a second gone by in the second. And the Irish on top, 7-0. Plan. This was the plan in the Notre Dame secondary. A lot of experience. However, there was off-field issues. Max Redfield was dismissed from the team. Devin Butler is currently suspended for a separate off-field issue he was involved with. Nick Watkins has been dealing with an arm injury, had a second surgery on that. Sean Crawford coming back from a knee, tore his Achilles last week. So all those veterans that were coming back, this was it. That meant young guys had to step up. And one of them is Devin Studstill, who came up with the interception off the deflection. So he's playing a lot in the secondary. Julian Love is playing a lot. This was not the plan that Brian Van Gorder thought he'd be working with in the secondary. But they are trying to learn on the run here. Very talented players. The future bright. But the bright lights are on right now. Gerald Holmes is the running back for Michigan State. He starts this drive and gets to the 17-yard line, a gain of 5. And Doug, for Brian Van Gorder's defense, it's been 5.5 decent quarters after the debacle at Texas to start the season.
Well, especially tonight for him, having young guys in there, this is kind of a blessing to face a team that's going to line up with basically what are 2-back sets or 2 tight end sets. Not as complicated as some of the spread stuff, to just get lined up so the kids can play fast.
Michigan State continuing to use both quarterbacks. Very similar to that game at Ohio State when Connor Cook was out last year. Damian Terry back in to take a third snap in this first half. It's a read, it's a give with Holmes. And he doesn't get back to the original line. Jerry Tillery on the other side of the line of scrimmage for the Irish.
Boy, Tillery just blows his man up. Pushes through the backfield, keeps the right arm free, and makes the tackle all on his own. That's a heck of a play. It's Machado he's running over. Just running him. I thought he was a little more athletic than strong. He looked pretty strong there.
310 pounds of strength there, down by the student section, getting loud for 3rd and 6. Tyler O'Connor steps up, sees space. Can he get there? No! Greer Martini. And the Irish respond to the Spartan defense with their own 3-and-out.
Just a big drop in coverage, so he has to tuck it under and go. Martini comes up from coverage and just minimizes the gain. I tell you, O'Connor can run with the ball. He moves well, but he's not going to kill you with his legs. No. Great open field tackle by Martini.
And we heard Martini, Osmar Bilal, they'll all play a little bit more defensive players being rotated in for the Irish. Jake Hartbarger, the punt. C.J. Sanders going to let this one bounce. Got to be careful. It doesn't touch the foot of an Irish player at the 40. It is still free, and it is Michigan State ball. That is one of those things. You're involved in the blocking. You're being pushed back. It might have been Miles Boykin. I wasn't sure if it was Boykin's foot that got caught up. There's usually a call from the punt returner, Peter, whatever it is, to get away. But in the noise, perhaps Boykin doesn't hear it.
C.J. Sanders was yelling as loud as he could, but Boykin could not hear him. That's a great break for Michigan State. And they're all over it. The kids they're hovering around the ball. They see it getting closer and closer to the Notre Dame player.
And then off of Boykin and recovered by Michigan State. And you can see the conversation about the communication or lack thereof that gives Michigan State an opportunity from the 38. Tyler O'Connor going to take a home run shot. Try to get it all here. Downfield. It is pulled away. Spectacular touchdown. Donnie Corley Jr. Oh, the freshman from Detroit just made a play for the Spartans.
Up top, Corley versus Cole Luke. He's not open. Cole Luke is in great position, misplays the ball, and Donnie Corley goes up and gets it. It's all his.
Well, Luke had it in his hands, and he couldn't make the clean catch. He's 6'2", swinging gate here for Michigan State on the extra point. They're going to try to go for two here, and then fake it with a pass and then throw for the 2-point conversion. It's not little giants from the game in East Lansing a few years ago, but Josiah Price able to pull it in, and the Spartans take an 8-7 lead. Matt Maxud was able to throw it. A terrific job by the holder. And in 2 plays, Michigan State looked like they were going to be down, back on defense, but it hits the leg of Boykin. The Spartans jump on it. The freshman, who they've told us in East Lansing, they've never seen a freshman come in this ready at the receiver spot. Donnie Corley Jr., the takeaway touchdown, the 2-point play. And the Spartans all of a sudden on top, on the road by 1. See over the years, some of the moments from this Notre Dame-Michigan State rivalry. I just referenced one, that 2010 Little Giants play. That was the fake field goal in overtime. That was the Michigan State pass for a touchdown to win the game in East Lansing. Well, in this case, it was after the touchdown catch by Corley. The fake of the extra point out of the swinging gate leads to the 2-point conversion. And Michigan State's up 1 instead of being down 7 or tied. Touchback here. Notre Dame will take over the 25-yard line. Kaiser on the field. Top performances brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. 50 years ago, the Irish were ranked number 1, traveling to East Lansing, take on number 2 Michigan State. What a game. Duffy Daugherty, Ara Parsegian, 25 All-Americans, 10 first-rounders, 31 future NFL players. Spartans were up 10-0. Irish came back to tie it at 10. It was that way early in the fourth quarter, and then late in the fourth quarter, Notre Dame had a drive where Parsegian kept it on the ground and gained a couple of first downs, and the game ended in a 10-10 controversial at the time tie. That was top performances brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. It was a time when the Irish did not play in bowl games. Michigan State wasn't going to play in a bowl game because they had been to the Rose Bowl the year before. We asked Mark D'Antonio about the game. Is it a 10-year-old Mark D'Antonio remember the 1966 10-10 game? He said, no, not really. But they've heard about it and talked about the history with their teams here this week. C.J. Sanders on the completion. And look at Sanders go. He lost the football. It's down on the ground. Was he down or no? At the 44, the Spartans have it. And Notre Dame back-to-back mistakes if this holds up. Monte Nicholson was on the fumble for MSU. Ruled on the field a fumble. Yep, great punch out too by John Reschke, who didn't play in the first game.
Just a swipe at the ball, it gets a good punch on it, punches it straight out just before the knee touches the ground, and it's out. I had a coach tell me, know when your journey is over. When the run is coming to an end, it may not be worth fighting for an extra foot or two, a couple extra yards. You're in a crowd, wrap that thing up and get down to the ground as quickly as possible. There he was just diving forward, heading to the ground, and the ball was punched out.
Just think about, other than the kickoff, the last 3 times the ball has been in action here. The punt that hits Boykin's leg, the touchdown taken away from Luke of Notre Dame on the great play by Corley, the 2-point conversion, and then add that. Spartans gain momentum. O'Connor, nobody open, takes off, takes a hit, gains 5 yards. Niles Morgan combining with Tavon Coney on the tackle.
They're going for the big play on the play action, and he might have had a shot at the post down the middle. Comes off the play action, looking deep. There's no safety middle of the field, but he sees a window open up and takes off and gets a positive gain on first down.
Hey, Doug, I know when I'm watching the game, I know what we're feeling here. As a player, when you're in this situation, do you feel this momentum starting to build if you're on the Michigan State sideline right now?
Absolutely. That's why they went hard play action and went for the big play right away. You're going for the kill after the turnover.
Michigan State, as they did in the last game against Furman, rotating centers, moving a different guy up front. Allen's in the middle now as O'Connor eludes the sack. He unloads. He's going to take that shot downfield. He couldn't get it to Felton Davis III. Running down the sideline.
Boy, Julian Love comes off the edge with a corner blitz, and it just doesn't happen for him. He stays he's coming from the top of the screen, and he comes free. O'Connor feels him at the last instant. You have to stay on the upfield shoulder. He did, and he went straight for him. O'Connor made a nice little spin move out of here. And once you're out of the pocket versus a blitz, there's a good chance of a big play. Didn't happen then.
3rd and 5, play clock running down. Down to 3. And timeout taken by D'Antonio. You can see.
Timeout, Michigan State, their first.
Tyler O'Connor was trying to get his players in the right spot and show some urgency, but they didn't get there, so MSU takes its first timeout. 3rd and 5 when we come back. Spartans back here in South Bend out of the Michigan State timeout. Spartans will have 3rd and 5 at the 39-yard line of the Irish. As the field is flipped, momentum has changed a bit. See if the Notre Dame defense can respond with a big play of their own. Senior captain O'Connor. Quick release. The slant is incomplete. Try to get it back to the touchdown maker, Corley. And it'll be 4th down.
Get the feeling that maybe Michigan State held Corley back a little bit last week or 2 weeks ago and didn't show it. He's going up against Cole Luke, the best corner for Notre Dame, and it doesn't seem to faze him at all.
No, he had 2 catches for 17 yards against Furman, but they talked about how excited they were to get him more involved in the offense. C.J. Sanders back. Art Barger did a good job earlier of pinning the Irish deep. And the sophomore punter able to do it again. Ball down at the 1. Spectacular special teams coverage by Michigan State. 99 yards for the Irish to go. Well, Doug, some mistakes here for Notre Dame throughout the right. Actually, from the opening kickoff, if you think about it.
Right off the kickoff, could have been a big play for Notre Dame. Elliott does the pull down. He's getting run over, so he pulls the defender with him onto his lap. Penalty on the play, bring it all the way back. And then you're yelling, poison, 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 get out of the way. Boykin doesn't hear it, hits him off the heel, another turnover. Diving to the ground. Reschke gets a fist in on the football and knocks it out.
C.J. Sanders fumbles it, so after building momentum with a nice 9-play, 91-yard drive, the Irish have struggled here, just needing some space for Kaiser to operate. He gets out to the 2-yard line. With 8 minutes left in this second quarter. Again, the big picture story for Brian Kelly's teams. You watch the scores go by from the other teams in the country, and you know their path to the college football playoff is get hot in your conference, get to a conference championship game. We all know Notre Dame doesn't have that advantage and lost that early game to Texas. You can overcome an early loss, but losing 2 of the first 3 is very tough. That's why there's pressure here tonight. Kaiser's pass complete for the first down. To the 12-yard line, it's Torrey Hunter Jr., who missed that game with a concussion last week. Was a little rusty when he got back to practice this week, but has looked good so far tonight.
Boy, Torrey Hunter did a nice job. They used motion to back off the press coverage a little bit so he can just run a speed cut. Because of the motion, you can't be in press coverage. Runs them off, speed cut, ball thrown on time, in rhythm, out of your own end zone. Big first down.
Let's go with 3 receivers to the right, and on the zone read, it is Folston. A gain of about a yard or 2. Doug, how do you assess this Michigan State secondary? The corners had the reputation over the past years of playing that great press man coverage and really being difficult to deal with. How about this group of Spartan corners?
Tell you what, Copeland on one side, 13, does a great job. 2 Hicks got picked on a little last week, had a couple penalties on them. They're not quite the corners that they have had in the past.
Josh Adams with both halfbacks in the game. 2 runs to the right. And only gains about a yard and a half. It'll be 3rd and 6 coming up for the Irish with 6:40 to go. You talk of guys like Darquez Denard, who was just an outstanding corner that Michigan State had. Not that quality on the edges now, so they have to play a little bit different defensively.
They do. They don't quite play as much press man all the way. A lot of times they may be bailing out or have a little safety help. But in general, Michigan State's defense is pressure the quarterback and play some man-to-man and put those guys on an island.
See, showing Kaiser different looks late. Kaiser with 4 on the play clock tries to adjust it. Gets this one off. There's 5 rushing. Kaiser sees the backs turned. He turns it upfield, reaches out. Let's see where the mark is. It's a yard shy of the first down. So it's going to be 4th down. Chris Fry, the linebacker, chasing him down.
Great job by Fry in the open field chasing. Kaiser's deceptively fast, and he almost turned the corner. Holds on by an ankle or foot or toe.
It's a spot very close. You saw he was inbounds as he reached when the knee came down. I don't know if there's a definitive look on the spot that would give you the line to gain here. And now looks like they have been buzzed down from above in the replay booth.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field is that the runner was short of the line to gain.
You see the marks right at the 22, and he stays inbound, so he doesn't cross the sideline, so he gets the full extension there. So where is the ball when the knee comes down? To be decided by the replay booth if they're going to change the spot on this third down scramble. Okay, it's going to be fourth down. The call on the field was that the play stands, not confirmed. It would have been very hard to spot it right at the 22-yard line, which would have been enough for the first down. It was close, but no definitive look to say it had crossed the 22. So they keep the call on the field, and the Irish will kick it away with Tyler Newsom. That time he gets a good kick away. Going to get all of it here. Big roll as well. That'll be a 70, maybe 71-yard punt, depending on where it's officially marked. But it'll be a career long for Newsom, who really needed that to flip the field for the Irish and put the Spartans back inside their 10. They'll mark it at the 8 for Tyler O'Connor, the captain of this Michigan State offense. Doug, we mentioned that he stayed in school. It was one of those things when he was about to deal with 3 years as the backup when Connor Cook won the job, the head-to-head battle, where there was concern, would he transfer? And he said, no, he's going to stay. And Mark D'Antonio had that serious talk with him about that. And then the conversation for this year, are you ready for all of this? Are you ready to take over a team with lofty expectations, where double-digit wins and top 10 finishes at the end of the season have become expected? Well, he has talked about that and handled it so far. L.J. Scott with the gain for 4, and Catherine Tappan has more on the Spartan quarterback.
Well, Mike, Tyler O'Connor grew up actually a Notre Dame fan. He said his grandmother's name was Patricia O'Connor. She had clovers all over the house. I spoke to his mom, Barb, this morning. She told me that her dad, as well as Tyler's father, were also Notre Dame fans. But when you talk about the possibility of whether or not he wanted to transfer or ever could, Barb O'Connor said, we always have a motto in our family, the O'Connors never quit. There was never a question in our mind that he would consider transferring. And she said, I believe that the better he got as a backup, the better he made Connor Cook as a starter, guys.
I like Mom's motivation there. That's a good line from Mom. Prescott line with the carry for a couple of yards. But to amplify Catherine's point, you know, Doug, in this day when we build up kids, he was one of those elite 11 quarterbacks, the high school kids that are given the chance to grow together. He was with Jameis Winston, Chad Kelly, Gunnar Kiel, who Notre Dame fans are quite familiar with, Tyler Mangum at BYU. So he was thought of highly out of high school, so that had to hurt him when he didn't get the starting job and had to know, if I'm going to start, I'm going to start for 1 year.
You know, and all these other kids at one time or another have transferred and moved on because of that sense of entitlement. I want to play, and I want to play now. He didn't want that. He loves Michigan State. There were too many good things about Michigan State.
He's pressured here on 3rd and 3, and it's complete to his tight end, Josiah Price. Great gain, good read, 38-yard line. A first down gain of 22 for MSU.
14 Studstill gets caught in a switch. He tries to chase and leaves his man. Got caught up with an inside receiver. He and Niles Morgan ended up chasing the same guy. And down the field, free release for Price, and up the field he goes.
And that's one of the cool things about having a fifth-year senior quarterback. Even though he hasn't played a ton, he knows where the answers are. He sees the pressure, he understands it. He knows he's going to have his tight end a free release, like you said, move the chains and keep it going.
He's been in this offense for 5 years. He knows it inside and out. He's not an inexperienced guy.
There's Corley on the edge, and he'll get the first down. That's the 48-yard line. Tavon Coney with the tackles. So the freshman, Martin Luther King High School in Detroit, one of those spring enrollees. So he was around the Spartans camp, got to learn a little bit. and that helped refine some of his route running. But there's a lot of pure talent for this young man from Detroit.
We really think he's ready to just have a breakout year. He came in ready to play. We hadn't seen much on him. We weren't sure. You go by word of mouth from the coaches. You trust it. But you see him on the field, and he's not afraid of any situation. He's going up a lot of times against Notre Dame's best corner.
2.5 left until halftime. O'Connor keeping, was patient, waited for the block, and takes it into Irish territory at the 45-yard line. Stud still made the tackle. Brian Allen got out there, threw a nice block for him.
He goes zone read, and 75 McGowan seals the corner. Allen outside with a push. Just a great job. Actually, Clemens is out there on the corner, getting out in front of him. So Connor just feels it. You know, he's not blazing fast, but he's following the blocks and gets an effective run.
2nd and 4. Here is Scott, and a good push now from this Spartan offensive line. Lining up and blocking to the 32. First down, Michigan State, a gain of 13.
Niles Morgan has him in his sight, steps up, and Scott just says, I'll see you up and over. Little hurdle, keep moving. It's Jerry Tillery chasing it down from behind as a defensive lineman.
Jump cut here by Scott. They want to watch the clock with 1:35 to go. 1-point lead for Michigan State. 2 timeouts at their disposal.
The pure athleticism of some of these kids is amazing to me. I mean, Niles Morgan is a heck of an athlete at middle linebacker. He goes sideline to sideline.
Right.
Scott's a big boy running the football, and he just hurdled him like it was nothing.
That was like half of Lamar Jackson from Louisville, who did that last week against Syracuse and piled on today against Florida State. The guys are going to have all those highlights at halftime. Here comes R.J. Shelton as he comes around. Drew Tranquil is waiting for him at the 27-yard line. 58 seconds. Clock still turns as it's 3rd down.
Shelton's another 5th-year guy that's been around a long time and does everything from special teams to blocking to receiving and carrying the ball.
Just inside of Michael Geiger's field goal range here as Michigan State slow plays it with 40 seconds left. And O'Connor out of the pocket on the run, trying to get the first down. Now the ball was in his left hand as he goes through the band. I don't know if the band is equipped to take that kind of hit. But they're going to give him the spot at the 21-yard line with 34 seconds left for a first down.
Well, Jerry Tillery gets a little pressure, and O'Connor just calmly slides to his left up. And he needed these extra yards. This is getting you in a safe field goal range. This end of the field was no joke during warm-up with the field goal kickers were kicking down this end. So every extra yard helped secure that field goal.
And they got a break because it's where the ball is when you go out of bounds. He did get inside that first down marker, even though he had it in his left hand, not the right one, going forward. 34 seconds, 2 timeouts. O'Connor trying to wheel it out there. It's Corley. He's thrown back into the band, but that's another Michigan State first down with 28 seconds left. Julian Love hits him out.
.28 seconds, 2 timeouts for Michigan State. They can get all 4 downs in here before attempting, or 3 downs before attempting a field goal.
Notre Dame going to take a timeout, try to get organized here. State Farm halftime report is coming up. Jimmy Roberts is back in our studio. We'll have all the highlights. Keep an eye on Christian McCaffrey, and our guys are here. Liam McHugh, Dahani Jones. They're not speaking to each other at the moment, so it'll be organic what they say to each other coming up from the field on the State Farm halftime report. 1st and goal for the Spartans, ball touching the 10. They have 2 timeouts. They have a lot of options here with 28 seconds left. Pitch it to Shelton. R.J. Shelton on the edge. Got a block. Got a Spartan touchdown. Terrific blocking on the edge. Allows Shelton, who runs it often, to turn the corner and find the end zone for a 5th career rushing touchdown. And boy, this game has flipped quickly. Wide receiver scored it. Wide receiver helped pave the way with a block on the edge as well. Now Michael Geiger lined up to kick the extra point. And after the tricks earlier wrapping up an 11-play, 92-yard drive here at the end of the half for Michigan State, leading by 8.
R.J. Shelton coming in motion, takes it. They've run this play 3 or 4 times already. Great job by Machado on the corner. And Price, 82, his tight end, makes a big block. Down the field, Davis III stays on his man.
Medeiros, Davis, Shelton, that's your receiver room. They're downfield. The first level of blocking with Price, the tight end. That's a very Michigan State type touchdown. Everybody a part of it.
Absolutely. A physical football team that likes to run the ball. You know the receivers are going to be working for you downfield.
And that little push pass from O'Connor takes Shelton to the end zone. The glory of stats, that's a pass.
Absolutely.
Right.
Touchdown. Gotta love it. Touchdown pass, yards passing. We should have done it from further out. What do you say, Coach? We could have run that from the 25. Got 25 yards.
They're not looking for the average of the distance that traveled in the air there.
No, yak.
But, 24 plays all Notre Dame has run, Doug, and since the punt hit the calf of Boykin, giving Michigan State a short field, and they went right for it, it has changed the tone of this game a little bit. Through the hands of Dexter Williams, who goes back to get it. Williams out right around the 20-yard line with 18 seconds till halftime for Deshaun Kaiser and the Irish.
Kaiser's played well. He's run with the ball well. He's been accurate with his arm throwing, but they've only run 24 plays. Here's his own read. He's on the give there. Great read this time. He pulls it. Great read there. Now it's a triple option. He's out on the corner. Copeland comes up and he dumps it for a huge play to St. Brown. So he's doing things right. They only have 7 points to show for it. Quarterback draw, great block from Mustapher, great job downfield, and he is deceivingly quick. He covers a lot of ground.
Those long strides. Solid performance, 6 of 9, like you said, 103 yards, but not the opportunity.
24 plays.
Irish used a timeout on defense earlier. 2 timeouts left for Notre Dame, and Michigan State is going to take a timeout.
Timeout. Michigan State, their second.
With 18 seconds remaining till halftime. Brian Kelly likes to be aggressive, get the ball, take the ball to start the game. And Michigan State won the toss and deferred, so the Spartans get the late momentum here at halftime. They're going to get the ball first to start the second half, so maybe that's why you see Kelly trying to jump in to a little offense here. Are you surprised that Notre Dame has not been able to sustain much on the offensive end so far?
Not totally surprised, but I really did think they would finish off. They just haven't finished drives. They've been able to move it at times, but they haven't finished off drives. The turnovers are now killing them. And they've had opportunities. It looks offensively like they're doing what they want, but it's not coming together. And you've got to credit the defensive line, the pressure, a guy like McDowell in the middle, disruptive, and in the second, or actually the linebacker level flying around.
And O'Connor's been able to more than manage the game. That is that term that carries a negative connotation for some quarterbacks. Even Brian Kelly said, I'm not going to use the M word, manage the game, to describe O'Connor. Kaiser goes to the air quickly. It's Josh Adams trying to get to the sideline, but only 10 seconds left as he's pulled down by Darian Hicks, the corner for the Spartans.
With only a 3-man rush, it would not surprise me if Kaiser could hang on to the football and just move around for a while before unloading something way downfield. That's what that play kind of felt like to me, but he had Adams short. I think the negative outweighs the positive from this area of the field, though, with 9 seconds left.
Now down to 9 as the clock was stopped out of bounds. Again, a 3-man rush. Kaiser surveys, fires middle. K.J. Stefferson able to hang on to it with 1 second left at the 45-yard line, so it would at least give Notre Dame a chance to take a Hail Mary shot downfield, a gain of 23, as Kevin Stefferson, the freshman from Jacksonville, made the grab.
Well, now Kaiser can reach the end zone from here. I mean, if he drops back, moves around, it'll be about a 60 to 65-yard throw for him to reach the end zone. Unless they have some trick gadget, pitch it a few times. You don't want to be pitching the ball around because it could end up going the other direction.
What would you know about throwing the ball to the end zone?
I have no idea. Gerard, where are you?
Gerard Fail in 1984, that great BC-Miami Friday after Thanksgiving play. And Mark D'Antonio's team will set up their defense accordingly as well. And
you also have a guy like St. Brown big, tall, lanky receiver that can go up and make a play on the ball. We've seen crazy things happen already this year.
Certainly saw, albeit a play that shouldn't have been run because it was an untimed down the end of the Central Michigan-Oklahoma State game last weekend.
Unbelievable job of catching that ball and pitching it, though, huh?
So Equinemius St. Brown, 6'4", goes over there to the right side with two other receivers. 55 yards from there to the goal line. And as you said, drop back, roll out.
I'd bring a guy off the edge and try to create just a 4-man or 5-man pressure and everybody else bail. Again, it's a 3-man rush, though.
Here comes the pressure. The extra man coming as Kaiser unloads it as far as he can. Downfield, and it is almost caught. Chase Claypool, the 6'4" freshman on the dead run, almost got his hands on it as they went downfield.
He had a hand on it. Kaiser let this thing fly, and he outran the coverage to go get the ball. Nicholson, number 9, goes up for it, but he didn't get a hand on the ball. That would have been an unbelievable catch because he was on full stride.
Spartans by 8. Here's Catherine.
Coach, special teams, the story of that first half. Your team clearly with the advantage in that department. What did you like?
Well, we're playing hard. We're playing hard, trying to make plays. Not perfect game right now, but we got the lead right now, so we just keep playing. Great football game, great challenge.
Your quarterback Tyler O'Connor in one of the biggest starts of his career on a huge stage. What has impressed you so far about his play?
He's got moxie. He stands in there, makes plays. Great catch by Donnie Corley in the end zone down there to pull it away, and good play calling a little bit, but got a whole nother half. So here we go.
Thanks so much, Coach. Mike.
All right, Catherine. 18 minutes time possession for the Spartans. Michigan State 15, Notre Dame 7. Plenty ahead. State Farm halftime report. Don't forget the halftime performance of the Notre Dame band can be seen on NBCSports.com. For right now, from our NBC studio, here's Jimmy Roberts.
80,000 here to see a rivalry renewed. And here come the Irish. Spartans and the Irish on a Saturday night from South Bend.
You have to expect it to be a battle. We're here to play.
Kaiser, good move at the 5. Kaiser to the end zone.
We don't have to make our own trophy, and that's something that we want.
And it is Michigan State ball.
Tyler O'Connor will take a home run shot.
Spectacular touchdown.
And the Spartans all of a sudden on top. Chase jumped in on the edge, got a block, got a Spartan touchdown. And that 15-point second quarter puts Michigan State up 8. They're waiting to get the ball to start this second half as we look at our first half stats presented by Verizon. You see Notre Dame 180 yards, but 27 plays. Michigan State ran 11 more plays in that first half, thus the time of possession is.
I think the deceiving number is right there, 161 passing for Michigan State. Probably not expected that. If anything, you would think they may have hammered out a bunch of yards to get a couple of scores to get up on Notre Dame. But Tyler O'Connor, very calm, cool, and collected, has made plays.
Justin Yoon, who's been very good with his directional kicking. This one 5 yards deep into the end zone. No return for Darrell Stewart Jr. And Michigan State will take over at the 25-yard line as we send it down to the sideline and Catherine Tappan.
Well, Mike, I spoke to Brian Kelly at halftime, and I asked him about that Miles Boykin play, and he said basically it was just a botched play. He said it was a combination of C.J. Sanders not communicating as loudly as he has to be. It is very loud down here on the football field. He also said he was blocking, but it was just unfortunate. I asked him at what point does he plan to get the 2 points back. He said, we're going to kick the extra point every time until we have 3 possessions left. And as for his message to his team at halftime, he said, you've got to eliminate the mistakes. 2 key plays on special teams from Michigan State is the difference here. But he said, talk is cheap. Mike?
All right, Catherine, thank you. And it's a great second point there. That was a conversation that happened, especially after the Clemson game last year, of going for 2 and when to go for 2 and all of that. Sometimes you get caught chasing points, but you know when the window is short and you have to get them. So that's what Kelly's thinking. Got to keep Michigan State off the board as well. Tyler O'Connor passed it in traffic and on the deflection. It was almost intercepted. James Onwalu back there, the captain, the linebacker, got the deflection initially.
Boy, did a great job of sliding back underneath this route. Ball from the outside. Onwalu leaves his man and slides deeper back underneath and almost makes a play. And I believe that's Cole Luke begging for an interception.
Well, that's neat story on Onwalu and Luke. They've wore that number 1 jersey we talked about in the first half the last 2 weeks, as we have an injured Michigan State player who the athletic training staff is coming to check on. Monty Medeiros, the wide receiver, couldn't get back to the huddle. So MSU's staff is out there, and Dr. Sally Noggle, who's their head athletic trainer, been that for 33 years. Mark D'Antonio's team is so good with a lead because they're built to salt away leads. So if this gets to be a two-score game, Notre Dame will have some issues to deal with, not just Michigan State's front that you showed us at halftime, but the style the Spartans are so good at.
They have all kinds of formations with extra offensive linemen, with extra tight ends, where they can hammer out a lot of clock. They had the one drive, 11 plays, 92 yards, eating up clock, went the length of the field. That was impressive. But when they get in that mode of hammering the football, and it felt like through the first half, their offensive line started to take control of the game on Notre Dame's defensive line.
You mentioned D'Antonio was at Cincinnati before coming to Michigan State. So much of his staff came with him, so loyal. You don't see a lot of sound bites or exciting quotes from Mark D'Antonio, but the people around this program love him. Love what he's about, what he stands for, and what he delivers. He's put Michigan State back on the map in college football. Here's R.J. Shelton with that quick hit. Not going anywhere. The Irish defense, led by Isaac Rochelle and James Onwalu, the two captains on this side of the ball, make a play. Doug, four of the assistant coaches of Michigan State have been with D'Antonio since he came from Cincinnati. They've been with him all 10 years, very loyal, and that's rare in this sport. That speaks to his credibility.
That's
Barnett,
how,
defensive coordinator.
How you gain consistency within your program.
This is 3rd down and 10 for O'Connor, hit by Rochelle as he throws, and it's incomplete. He tried to get it to Shelton, but the coverage was good enough from Julian Love, the freshman who's in as a nickelback, and it will be 4th down.
Shelton turned to catch the ball, and I believe Love gets a hand in at the last instant, right between, enough to disturb it, but still, a guy like Shelton, the 5th-year senior, he makes that play a lot. He's a tough kid that's made a lot of plays for this team. That's one he probably thinks he should have come up with.
Notre Dame came up with a poor play on special teams. Remember, R.J. Shelton took the, or C.J. Sanders, I should say, took the opening kickoff back for a touchdown, but it was called back for a penalty. See if he makes something happen here from the 35. Good open field tackle on special teams, limiting the gain to just 3 yards. Kari Willis, the safety, made the tackle. We have a flag down on the opposite side of the field. See what Dan Capron and this Big Ten crew have. And see where the Irish will get the ball for their first drive of the second half. Frank's territory, the field judge over there, explaining to Brian Kelly what happened.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 28 of the receiving team, 15-yard penalty, 1st down Notre Dame. That is number 28's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
Nico Fertitta, it wasn't for the hit, it was a little bit of that, the standing over afterwards on the gunner that he went to take the hit. So that's the 15-yarder called on the special teams player for the Irish, backing up Notre Dame when we come back. Those traditions, the trumpets there, playing the fight song under the Golden Dome inside here. It's a beautiful shot, isn't it? So is this one. Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Whether you're going for it from a few yards out or from miles away, go with a tire with superior performance. Goodyear, more driven. So the 15-yard penalty pushing the Irish back. This drive will start at Notre Dame's 23. Deshaun Kaiser, the junior from Toledo, Ohio, trying to get his team back on the board. Only his rushing touchdown in the first quarter for Notre Dame's offense. First give to Josh Adams, goes up the middle. Pretty good gain for Adams before Chris Fry brings him down. Doug, why don't we take a look at our quarterback comparison tonight, which is brought to you by Scott Trade.
Kaiser's numbers are pretty average, but the thing that stands out is O'Connor being as efficient as he has tonight.
Kaiser's pass incomplete in the dirt, trying to get it to Torrey Hunter Jr.
That pass was incomplete. Kaiser's worked very hard on refining his mechanics and being more accurate. Not the easiest thing to do when you're a long-limbed quarterback like he is.
Yeah, Coach Mike Sanford says that sometimes he gets an open left shoulder, which creates a wider base for him, and the ball, like we just saw on the move, went into the ground. And sometimes he does that. He's focused on it throughout the offseason. He does a good job at working at drills and certain skills, and he's done much better at it this year. And that will make him a more consistent quarterback if he can keep that left side closed for longer.
Issue with the play clock. It is reset, and it is 3rd and 5 for the Irish. This is where Michigan State gives you a bunch of different looks at the pressure coming off the right. Kaiser sees it, makes an adjustment. Spartans still coming with 5. Kaiser's got time. It was well blocked, and he takes the check down for the first down to Josh Adams at the 40, and that's something he didn't do in one situation last week against Nevada.
Great job of stepping up and finding his outlet in Josh Adams. Watch it from behind. His crease opens up to the left, so the pressure is up the field, and he just comes down, checks it down to Adams. He might have had a shot up the field, but took the safer throw.
That was strung out and well played by Demetrius Cooper for the Spartans, the junior from Percy Julian High School in Chicago. All over that. No option to pitch at a loss of a yard.
You know, the key to the 3rd down conversion, backing up a play, is the blitz pickup. All that package, they brought a zone blitz off the strong side, a couple extra rushers. At least a hat was on a hat. There were no free runners at the quarterback.
Equinemius St. Brown not been able to get downfield. He's at the top of the screen. You see the Spartan corner is giving some space. Kaiser looks to his left, overthrows C.J. Sanders. That's incomplete. Demetrius Cox, the captain, up from his safety spot in coverage. 3rd and long.
Kaiser did a nice job of sailing that ball, because if he put that on the money, Cox may have broke on it.
Kaiser has, I don't know if it's an equipment issue or something, so 3 or 4 times he did what you just saw there, kind of stretching with that right arm.
He took a hit on the option play out to the right side.
Again, 3rd down.
3rd down.
State did.
All these looks.
Who's coming? Who's dropping? They're all coming now. 6 of them. Kaiser throws it to the wide side and incomplete. Intended for Torrey Hunter Jr. So Kaiser not the most accurate passing series. And after a 1st down, the Irish will punt it away.
Go back to that option where he might have taken a hit on that shoulder. Or here's a hit well after the throw, a little bump. Kaiser was trying to anticipate the throw on the out. The route might have been run a little bit deep, or in his mind a little deep, because he tried to put it in an area. Because of the pass rush, he had to anticipate and put it up early.
Gabe Sherrard was the one who hit him in the side. Here's the punt from Newsom. Good hang time here, and R.J. Shelton needs some traffic, has to run over to bring it in at the 24-yard line. A couple minutes into this 3rd quarter. Each team's had the ball once, done nothing. Doug, when you live in the Midwest, you live in the shadows of the great programs of all time. Top 5 teams in terms of all-time wins, the Irish, the Wolverines, and the Buckeyes, right? But what about of late, since 2010? Michigan hasn't been its best. Notre Dame turning it around with Kelly. Urban Meyer doing a great job in Columbus. But the Spartans have the most wins since 2010. Mark D'Antonio took this job, said, I don't want to hear that it's a graveyard for coaches. I'm going to build something here. Have you looked since 2010, only Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher have more wins than Mark D'Antonio. I want to ask you after this play, during this series, what sticks out to you about why he's been able, with those brand names and great programs here around the Great Lakes, been able to build something special in East Lansing? O.J. Scott with the carry and the spin. Good gain of 7 for Scott on 1st down.
I think part of it is what we talked about a little while ago, keeping your assistants around for consistency. So now you have structure, consistency in a program, and then you get the type of kids that build around your offense. He is a physical, pound-the-ball offense, and those are the type of kids he can recruit.
2nd down. Scott will get the 1st down across the 40 and to the 43-yard line. In this day and age of football played on the edge in terms of the field and spreading them out, there's a lot really of old school ball that is played in East Lansing, and D'Antonio fits that to a T. He's a defensive coach. This is the kind of offense he'd like. A little trouble on the handoff with O'Connor and Scott, and Niles Morgan tackles him after a gain of a yard.
everyone sees that style all the time of the spread them out and trick them, and it's new to them. Now here's another situation where we have a miscue in the backfield. O'Connor expecting Scott to go underneath. Little collision happens, but the ball does not end up on the ground. It's always a plus. I mean, a lot of times the quarterback, I see that type of relationship. I'll pull the ball and just run a naked bootleg or go down, or you do not want the ball on the ground, and that can happen very easily.
Well, L.J. Scott going to make sure that gets straightened out. Gerald Holmes comes back in the game. We've not seen Madre London, who played a dozen snaps in the opener as the backup running back. 2nd and 9 option, and it's to Holmes. Initial contact to get there by Tavon Coney, and then Niles Morgan does the cleanup. Those linebackers have been, as we expected, busy here against the Spartans tonight.
Watch the fullback. There's an actual fullback in the game. 45 Prescott line. Boom! Put Studstill on his back. And that was one of the questions I had about the safeties.
Right.
You know, you've got young kids that are true freshmen or not really as physically built as the upperclassmen trying to jump in and play right away. How are they going to hold up against this physical Michigan State team?
Prescott line, who played at SMU last year. 3rd and 4. Irish need to make a play on the defensive side, and that slant is caught. Monty Medeiros back in the game after being shaken up on that first drive of the second half. Has a Spartan first down in Irish territory at the 43-yard line in front of Cole Luke.
Well, he was nicked up a little while ago, but on the outside, Medeiros is running a slant route on Cole Luke. And he's got some size to him. He's physical, great hands. Again, O'Connor, just a rhythm throw, feet under him, ball's on time, knows where to go, his pre-snap reads. I'm impressed.
To the 43, first down, shot play, it's in the air, it's going deep for Shelton, who got pulled down by Luke. And it'll be a 15-yard pass interference and take the Spartans to the 28-yard line.
He just runs right by Cole Luke. And play action, I mean, there's great pass protection. He takes an inside release, boom, and gone.
Defense number 36, 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Cole Luke had no safety help. Usually if there's a safety in the middle of the field, there's no doubt about the interference going up for the ball. But if you have a safety in the middle of the field, you don't mind if he goes inside on a go route because you're going to get help from the safety. So you play inside technique when there's no safety. He had no safety involved and got beat to the inside. So that ball could have been thrown inside even further. It could have been out in front. That's a cardinal sin. Don't let him beat you on the inside with no safety.
Again, that has been a concern for Brian Van Gorder's team. Told you about all the plate people they've lost in that secondary so far. Gerald Holmes with the carry and a good first down run by Michigan State. They're staying ahead of the sticks. That coaching term, they're staying out of 3rd and long. And right now, this is very much a Michigan State game. It all spun on that mistake on the punt in the first half. And since then, it's been exactly a Spartan game plan type ball game.
Nothing real pretty here. A couple 4-yard gains. Go hard play action, put one up deep, get the interference, maybe hit a slant route. And they're on the 22-yard line going in.
Here's Boykin. It hit his leg, but as you heard Catherine tell us at halftime, Brian Kelly mentioned C.J. Sanders not loud enough to communicate here in the noise. Holmes gets to the edge. He's pulled down as he had a block out in front from Cody Keeler. And Nick Coleman eventually made the tackle, but it's too late. First down for the Spartans in the red zone.
That was very well blocked. Now they're enforcing their will. Offensive linemen love this type of play. They come down the field. They're firing out. They're pushing people off the ball. They're pulling out around a corner. A big guy gets on a little guy, puts him on his back.
Beadle, Allen, Keeler, Clemens, Machado. There they are, the 5 offensive linemen for Michigan State. They'll rotate a couple of other guys in there. Well-coached unit showing up big here. 1st and 10. Holmes ducks left, but he's not going to get past Tavon Coney. Minimal gain on first down.
You know, they had only 2 returning starters in the offensive line.
Right.
But they rotate people through so much. They've been doing that for the last few years that they have experience. The guys that weren't starters still get experience. They're going to rotate 7 or 8 guys through. they're still going to be ready to go and have experience when they step into a game like this with only 2 returning starters.
Mark Staten, their offensive line coach, he's one of the coaches you talked about before, Doug, as Mark D'Antonio is going to take a timeout here. He's been with D'Antonio since he's been in East Lansing. Some guys would get uncomfortable moving offensive linemen around. They're not. It's part of their plan, and it pays off year after year. One of the reasons they build here. Spartans on the move in the red zone. As we approach 8 minutes left, third quarter channel and NBC, Hazeltine, Minneapolis. St. Paul area awaits, and the Ryder Cup is in the house here tonight. As a matter of fact, Pete Bavacqua, the CEO of the PGA of America that puts on the Ryder Cup. Pete was a walk-on punter for Lou Holtz at Notre Dame, so he got to come back to South Bend here with Notre Dame Athletic Director Jack Swarbrick on the field earlier. Ryder Cup in the house here tonight and on your TV on Golf Channel and NBC in a couple of weeks. And the Spartan timeout, 2nd and 10, pass complete. R.J. Shelton makes a man miss, and Shelton's inside the 5. It's 1st and goal, and they are picking on the Notre Dame corners now to move the ball down the field.
This is just a missed tackle. He knows down and distance-wise. I'll give him a little cushion and break up on it. Shelton steps out of the tackle with cold loop. And if anything, you want to miss outside, make him cut back to the inside.
14 on the game. Gerald Holmes following his blocks to the end zone. Touchdown, MSU. The junior from Flint, Michigan, gives Michigan State a 14-point lead.
Boy, Josiah Price at tight end 82 just caves the left side down, and Clemens comes around and scores with his man and right on his back with the ball. That's just pushing people around.
They have 3 running backs, Scott and London and Holmes. And Holmes started the 7 games to end last season. And 8 touchdowns overall, and he gets his first of the year here. Extra point is added. A spirit-killing 10-play, 75-yard drive for the Irish defense. Uplifting for the Spartans. This is MSU textbook football on the road in South Bend. Thursday night, 7 Central right here on NBC. 22 in a row scored by the Spartans, and the guys from 150 miles away from here hoping to take a happy bus ride back.
And that was methodical.
That drive?
Yeah, that just looked like Notre Dame did not have a chance at stopping them. Michigan State just took it to Notre Dame.
Kevin Cronin with the kickoff. It'll go bounced on the goal line, comes back. Sanders was aware, as Williams, beg your pardon, aware to pick the ball up as it comes back to him, and the tackle's made at the 12-yard line. Let's get an update back to the studio, and here's Jimmy Roberts.
Mike.
Sure was. Thanks, Jimmy. Wild start in that one after the delay. Of course, the Buckeyes and the Spartans will see each other later on this year. Here's the bounce on that kickoff as it hits inside the goal line. That should bring the ball out.
Reset the game clock for 7:48. It will start on the snap.
Since the ball goes into the end zone, it is an automatic touchback in college football.
Right. And Williams he couldn't tell. His back was to it, so it bounces, it comes back out. He takes it and didn't bring it out to the 25, but that's where the ball was spotted.
So they ruled it a touchback correctly.
Right. There's a play earlier today where a kick returner on the road at Clemson caught the ball, flipped it to the official, but he didn't put his knee down first, and ended up being a fumble. The official didn't pick it up. It was a Clemson touchdown. What a great play. John Reschke submarining in to stop Josh Adams, and Notre Dame's got to find some offense in a hurry.
Reschke just closes this down in a hurry. On the run, timed it perfectly into the backfield. Michigan State is rolling right now.
See Reschke's hand all bandaged up. That's the reason he missed the opener against Furman 15 days ago. 2nd and 11. The pass from Kaiser is intercepted. Forget my bandaged hand. I'm going to take it away. John Reschke with the interception.
Reschke baits Kaiser. Kaiser drops back and sees a window of opportunity to throw a curl route. Reschke started to the flat, put his foot in the ground, and breaks back under it and makes a heck of a catch on the ball.
He used that one hand that One hand. Not all bandaged up to bring it in. It is the third Notre Dame turnover, and Michigan State's going to take over at the Irish 39-yard line.
The bad hand was just a backstop to press it against. That's a great interception.
Reschke out of Brother Rice High School, terrific athletic high school in the Detroit area. He's from Sterling Heights, Michigan, comes up with a big play here in South Bend, and Michigan State chance to deliver another blow here. L.J. Scott is the back.
Pushing the pile.
The Spartan football gain is 6 on that first down run. You see Michigan State's going to come up to the line of scrimmage. They sense what we all sense. Irish on the ropes a bit with 6:50 remaining. Here in the third, Scott. Brian Allen paving the way. Great block by Allen. Takes Scott down to the 10-yard line. First and goal, Spartans. A run of 22.
Allen and Clemens both pulling around the corner. Just staying on Allen's tail, and he goes upfield, blocking. And it wasn't even difficult. The guys pulling didn't meet any resistance until downfield.
Right back to Scott, right up the middle into the end zone. 28 in a row for the Spartans.
Notre Dame players on their heels, just catching blocks. Scott takes his time, weaves his way up through. I mean, this is just, he's taking his time with the run because the offensive line is body on body and throwing people around. And Price got upfield to the linebacker level and closed it off.
That was Scott, Scott, and Scott. 3 plays, 39 yards. You can hear the folks from East Lansing here in South Bend. All the Sparties around the country saying, go green, go white. They are getting it done, and Notre Dame is searching for answers. L.J. Scott, 3 punishing runs, 39 yards. It's 29 in a row for Michigan State. Spartans are on a run, and the Irish are on the ropes. Liam, you mentioned it at halftime. Notre Dame's been on such a good roll, 7 straight here in South Bend, spanning last year and this. It has been a while since they have looked up at the home scoreboard and been down by over 20. We'll see if Deshaun Kaiser and the Irish offense can find some of that aerial attack that was talked about to be a big positive for this team, but they have not shown it so far. Return by Dexter Williams, and he'll get it just across the 25-yard line. Another special teams tackle for Kari Willis, the safety. They don't want you to see what they're drawing up. They're drawing up good old run blocking back there, Doug.
Block the guy in front of you. Block the guy in front of you. I'll tell you what, they've got some athletic offensive. They're doing a lot of pulling. Getting out on the edge, blowing people off the ball. There's a little zone blocking finally, but there's so much where it's pulling. How about your center out and around all the way outside? This guy was a left tackle Kyler last year. And then take your time. McGowan up the middle on a nice block. I tell you what, the emotional level early on carried Notre Dame, but now they're wearing down.
And they've got to find some offensive answers. They'll get it to Josh Adams, wearing the number 1 today, but now these linebackers are just teeing off. Riley Bulla, the captain, the 5th-year senior, was in there quick to make the stop.
There's still 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. If the Notre Dame offense can find some answers, there's still plenty of time. They did it against Texas.
They did come back on the road in Austin, the opening Sunday night of the season. The 25, they're not getting anything going on the ground. Back-to-back plays made by Bulla. And the Notre Dame fans getting restless.
Well, both linebackers came from depth. It didn't appear to be a blitz situation. And then all of a sudden they came flying up in there, and it's too late to react. The offensive line did not react to the cross dog late. Just Michigan State is 1 step ahead on every play.
Notre Dame not able to establish the run. 20 rushes, 54 yards. So Kaiser will face 3rd and long in that pressure package from the Spartans. They're showing 6. They're bringing 4. Kaiser's got him blocked, so he's got time, but the coverage is all over Adams. It is another quick 3-and-out. Andrew Dowell of the Michigan State defense with joy back to the Spartan sideline.
And the key is the ability to get pressure. With 3-man rush, Michigan State has gotten pressure. There they went 4. Fry came as a 4th rusher. It's just Kaiser looks a little uneasy in the pocket, like he's not sure if he's going to be able to hold on to the ball or not. Dumps it off. Minimal gain.
Tyler Newsome to kick it. R.J. Shelton back. The kick was 47. Fair caught at the 23-yard line with 4:26 to go. Well, we said Michigan State had questions to answer because we didn't know what they were all about this year. They played Furman 15 days ago. Not many answers against that FCS team. And that wasn't, to be candid, an impressive performance. This is an impressive performance.
This is very impressive. From an offensive standpoint, running the football, coming off the ball, firing out, quarterback position, O'Connor has been lights out, consistent. And then defensively, in the defensive line, guys that maybe the nation doesn't really know about yet, but are phenomenal athletes. Between McDowell and Cooper coming off the edge, they can get pressure without having to blitz. Then you add their zone blitzes in there, and they're all disruptive in the backfield.
We saw the record for Mark D'Antonio after a bye week. He was not thrilled to have a bye week this early in the season. This is R.J. Shelton, who scored earlier on a little push pass. He gets the game, and Notre Dame's Niles Morgan slow to get up. He's still down, and the athletic training staff out to look at the junior middle linebacker for the Irish. Man who came along 13 tackles against Texas, so important in the middle of this defense. Timeout as they look at Morgan. That's good to see as the entire Notre Dame defense comes around. Brian Van Gorder, defensive coordinator. Niles Morgan is there standing up. No one looking at him from the training staff. Here's what happened. Nick Coleman, 24 for the Irish, coming in for the tackle. And he got his teammate.
Niles Morgan is a guy in the middle that's just really gotten comfortable with position and being a communicator. You could not afford to lose him. He's already back out on the field.
His growth in this position, he was behind Joe Schmidt last year, terrific performer for Notre Dame, but Morgan's growth through some tough coaching, some tough love, which he got used to from his dad when he was coaching him back in his high school days. Up the middle, it is Gerald Holmes, past midfield, in a foot race with Luke. Not gonna get him. Holmes is all the way home. And the Spartans are putting a hurting on the Irish tonight. 73 yards.
Little tricky formation with a short side to the right and a tight end on the right side of the formation, but it's all offensive line. All offensive linemen over on the left side, 3 of them. Just blowing people off the ball, untouched, clean. Michigan State does things with formations, tight ends, big bodies, fullbacks, extra offensive linemen.
Extra point added by Michael Geiger. You don't often get a 73-yard run up the middle, like you said, untouched. And that's what Gerald Holmes got for a second rushing touchdown.
I mean, this is as clean as it gets. He did have to put his foot in the ground and make a little cut to the right. But that's just offensive linemen imposing their will. They get excited. When you run the ball more than a few times in the row, they can feel the momentum happening. They love this style of football on the offensive line.
Very often you'll see a player at that shot look up towards the big scoreboard and the video screen. There'll be one there next year, but Holmes had to look around to see if anyone was going to catch him. He couldn't. And Brian Van Gorder's defense, which was criticized for not being able to handle what Texas did, the combination of the open field and the power package. The Michigan State's coaching staff is going to feel terrific on the bus ride back, barring one of the great comebacks in history. 36-7. Michigan State, after being down 7-0 after one. 3 touchdowns here in a very short stretch of about 4 minutes
in this third quarter. Ball goes out of bounds on the kickoff, so we brought 30 yards from the kick spot. The Irish will take over at their own 35.
Free kick out of bounds by the kicking team. By rule, the ball is placed at the 35-yard line. First down.
Well, we mentioned 2 weeks from now, it is the Ryder Cup. One last spot to settle, but also some business to take care of at East Lake in Atlanta this week. 30 players with a shot at the title of FedEx Cup champion and the biggest prize individually in golf. Tour Championship begins Thursday, 1 Eastern on Golf Channel. Continues right here on NBC next Saturday at noon. Dustin Johnson, at the top of the point standings, Patrick Reed and Adam Scott. And the rest there, the big names will be at East Lake. And Dan Hicks and Johnny Miller will lead our golf team. We'll have it for you next week on Golf Channel and NBC. .345 to go. We'll see what Kaiser and the Irish offense can try to muster up. A shot downfield here towards Torrey Hunter Jr. brought it in at the 18-yard line. Pick up of 47 yards. Darian Hicks on the coverage.
Torrey Hunter just runs past Hicks. Protection was solid. Kaiser settles his feet, and he just runs past Hicks. Torrey Hunter coming off a concussion, makes a big play. Maybe he can spark the offense. It was the first time they got a vanilla look defensively.
Hunter, one of the captains, one of the leaders. Kaiser eludes the rush, fires towards the end zone. It is not pulled in. Equinemius St. Brown trying to grab it over there by the pylon. But he couldn't do it. Viante Copeland, who plays the corner position. They're in coverage.
I think it's coming off the right edge. I think it's Cooper, 98. Stepped up under him nicely. Tried to fit it. I think once you step under and through, go make a play with your legs. But he made an outstanding throw. Great effort to try to pull that in. Very difficult catch.
Second and 10 for Kaiser. The block, but he couldn't get much more. Colin McGovern, the guard, gave him a block, but Kaiser gets the gain of 3.
That's 3 plays in a row. Michigan State is lined up in their look, gone with a 4-man rush, dropped off in what was his own coverage, even though they blew by on the deep ball. And so Kaiser's comfortable. He sees what, I mean, still there was a pass rush, but he's seeing it now against a vanilla look.
3rd and 7. Spartans rush 4. Shot to the end zone. St. Brown goes up. Did he get the feet down? No. Feet were out of bounds. The hand fighting before. He could not get position back to the ball. It's incomplete, and it's 4th down. The Irish offense, I assume, will stay on the field.
Copeland has his left arm wrapped all the way around the back of St. Brown.
Oh,
and that
really
toe
close,
is darn close.
That is really close. First look at the replay. It looks like he's in. Let's see. Catch. Certainly going to look at it. That may be a touchdown.
The previous play is under further review. The ruling on the field is that the pass was incomplete.
I'm just laughing at the left arm being all the way wrapped around the back and pulling.
Viante Copeland. Equinemius St. Brown. You can see a bit of green between the golden toe of his shoe and the white of the sideline from the first angle. You can see it there as well. There is green.
If the foot is on the ground there, that's a catch.
It comes down. That should be a touchdown.
This may come back as a touchdown. I'll tell you what, Copeland couldn't have played it any better. Although I feel like he was interfering, had the arm wrapped around. He played it textbook, upfield shoulder, turned back towards the ball, got a hand on it, tipped it in the air, but St. Brown stayed after it.
We talked about the play at the very start of the game. The first quarter looked like a defensive hold. You can tackle a guy or hold him behind the line of scrimmage, but Brian Kelly's point, and we'd have to go back and look at the tape, was that the receiver was even with the line of scrimmage, and it should have been called
after
pass
review
interference earlier.
The receiver had control of the football with a foot down. The ruling on the field is a touchdown.
So Equinemius St. Brown, who comes up with his 3rd touchdown in 3 games, and Notre Dame on the board at 36-13. And a very quick response, 4 plays and 50 yards. And you said, Doug, that the looks of Michigan State were more vanilla in that drive, and Notre Dame took advantage of it.
Absolutely. Deshaun Kaiser was able to set his feet, was comfortable with what he was seeing in front of him, and made a few nice throws.
Justin Yoon for the extra point. Some movement up front.
Prior to the snap, offside, defense, number 4, half the distance to the goal, replay the try.
And Brian Kelly's saying, can we decline it and take the points, but or just decline it and re-kick it right from that spot there, not go to the 1.5 yard line. You might be thinking, do you want to go to the 1.5 and get 2 points at this point? If you are going to make a comeback, you're down by 23.
Play the try.
But they're just going to try to kick it here and get to 22 and work for those numbers down the line in terms of going for 2-point conversions. Usually, the math tells you wait until the very last time till you're down 8. Yoon with the extra point, and after 36 straight for the Spartans, Equinemius St. Brown on the great toe tap on the sideline makes it 36-14. Toe tap, two tap. Here's Captain Tappan on the sideline.
Well, Mike, the mood is not so great on the Notre Dame sideline, as you can imagine. Rather stone-faced group. Their lips are tight. Not a lot of screaming, however. It is a controlled environment as they are trying to get their confidence back, and it was all hands on deck with the defense. Brian Kelly, defensive coordinator Brian Van Gorder, special teams coach Scott Booker, all discussing plays with Jerry Tillery and Isaac Rochelle, who were working through their own growing pains in a conversation on the sideline. But it was James Onuwalu who stood up and said, let's just get a drive, after he watched what the offense just did. And we'll see what they can do here on this next drive, Mike.
Yeah, good stuff from down there, Catherine. And you think about what's been the DNA of this team under Brian Kelly. We talked about it with Michigan State, what their well-established DNA is. Over the last couple of years, it's been resiliency and it's been comebacks. Now, this is a massive hole to dig out of at 36-7, now 36-14. But Doug, you mentioned it earlier, the Texas game. The Irish, they don't fold the tent and shut her down. They've been a part of getting back in games, if not coming all the way back to win.
And offensively, they have that kind of ability if they get it rolling. But right now, I don't see where they could do it defensively to stop Michigan State's run game and get the ball back.
Onside kicks are somewhere up somebody's sleeve. When you get down this far, you got to make something happen to steal a possession. Just kicked straight away by Yoon. Touchback for Darrell Stewart Jr. And Doug, it's been a problem throughout every level of the defense of the Irish, but in the back end as well.
Well, the secondary has been maligned about their coverage of late and lining up, and they're young, but now they're young and they got to come up and tackle, and they're missing tackle. There's Coleman on a big receiver, Medeiros. Tranquil, who's a physical guy, misses a tackle in the open field. And then Studstill, a young guy, tries to come up. Cole Luke allowing a touchdown, or all the way down inside the 5. Cole Luke on that one, a veteran guy. I think you got to come up on the outside shoulder and turn that guy in. So it all is part of getting worn down throughout the game. It's a punishing attack, big bodies. Big lineman coming out on the corner and hitting the defensive backs on the perimeter. It wears you down.
That big 73-yard touchdown run on the last snap for Michigan State's offense by Gerald Holmes. But for the quarter, it's 156 rushing yards for Michigan State. Confusion here of getting the ball to the proper place, which hash are in the middle of the field after the touchback. Can the Notre Dame defense make a momentum-changing play to give their offense a short field and a chance to get back in it? It starts with R.J. Shelton coming around the edge again. It'll be 4 yards, just shy of the 30 as Greer Martini makes the tackle. 2.5 remaining here in this third quarter. The Irish welcome Duke to South Bend next week. They go on the road to play Syracuse in a neutral site game in the Meadowlands, and then North Carolina State. So opportunities ahead for victories if they can find a way out of this big hole. Jamal Lyles is injured for Michigan State. He's on a knee, and the Spartans athletic training staff out to look at the tight end.
Well, right now, the Notre Dame defense has to find ways to get off the field. And they've run that shovel pass, sweep, jet sweep, whatever you want to call it, many times tonight. and they get out on the perimeter, and they're getting big bodies blocking little bodies on the perimeter by pulling people. So not only are you getting beat up front and hammered by big bodies up front, your perimeter players have to come up and tackle, and they're getting hammered. I'm all for just loading up the box, hitting gaps, and going and penetrating.
You see the rushing yards, 226 rushing yards for Michigan State. The third down coming up here. It's going to be third at about 4 yards after Scott goes left and is stopped. And the student section still here, still in full voice, trying to inspire the defense.
If Notre Dame wants any chance to get back in this ball game, they got to stop on third down right here. And I would honestly play run first and try to stop run first and try to force Michigan State to throw the football.
Empty out the backfield, puts Scott outside of Monty Medeiros. Tyler O'Connor going to run for it. Can he get there? Yes. First down as he takes a hit at the 37-yard line from Cole Luke. But the drive stays alive with the fifth-year senior quarterback doing just what needs to be done.
That had run written all over it, even though it was an empty set, because you had all offensive linemen to the right side, a tight end on the left. So you have three big offensive linemen blocking to the right side. So it ends up being the quarterback draw, steps up through, and takes off.
Imagine if O'Connor holds on here in the fourth quarter.
His 2 road wins.
First 2 road games. Win at number 2 Ohio State, win at number 18 Notre Dame. Not bad for a kid from Ohio who grew up coming to games here in South Bend. Scott is tripped up as he was accelerating through the hole. He knows he was just a yard or so away from a lot of real estate. We'll have to snap it one more time here as they bleed the clock in the third quarter.
So much of what Michigan State does in their run game is more man blocking, so they create angles. They come down on people, pull people around, and it's man on man as opposed to the zone blocking, which we've seen a lot in the NFL, where guys will hip to hip and plays kind of stretch out, and you try to find a window and cut north and south. This is push one guy one way, pull and kick out the other, and create a crease.
Scott, that time play made on the other side of the line of scrimmage. James Onwalu ends the third quarter with one of the few bright spots of the third for the Irish. We're outscored 21-7 in that quarter. After 3, Michigan State 36, Notre Dame 14. We're back to Notre Dame Stadium after these messages from your NBC local station. You're watching Notre Dame football on NBC, presented by Verizon. There's your score by quarter, brought to you by Verizon. It's 36 in a row for the Spartans. Notre Dame touchdowns bookending it. So far, the lead is 22 for MSU as we go to the fourth here in South Bend. Mike Tirico, Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan. Watching Mark D'Antonio's team, who lost last time they came in here and have been terrific since, only losing 4 games. Brian Kelly and the Irish have built a very strong record here at home. But up against it, down 22 as this fourth quarter begins with 3rd and 9. And Tyler O'Connor rolls it. Not going to get there. It's Greer Martini submarining him on the edge, and 4th down coming up. So Notre Dame's defense, although they gave up 1 first down, Doug did what they needed to do. Got Michigan State off the field and now get the ball back in their hands.
Very conservative call on the rollout. The pattern was right in front of him. He didn't want to pull the trigger, so great job by the defense containing, getting the ball back for the offense. I mean, it's a big, just one drive at a time is the approach you have to take offensively for Notre Dame now.
Jake Hartbarger, only the 3rd punter under Mark D'Antonio. That's not many punters for 10 years. That's not his best either. He's going to go out of bounds. The Irish will take over at the 20-yard line. Just a 36-yard kick as Hartbarger hit it. Aaron Bates and Mike Sadler, the punters before, have seen better. Well, I'll give you a little recap, a little pulse of what's been going on here in South Bend. 15 points allowed off 3 turnovers, an early stretch in that second quarter where things just fell apart for the Irish. Tyler O'Connor has been very strong. Best stats he's had in his 3 career starts. 2 touchdowns, a lot of help there from Corley Jr., the freshman going over the top for the takeaway. And the Spartans, as the calling card tells you, they run it. They're averaging 6 a carry, 40 rushes, 240 yards through 3 quarters. Tarian Folston is the running back on this series for Deshaun Kaiser. And on first down, Kaiser hit as he throws downfield. It is brought in right at midfield by Chase Claypool, who had his hands on a near great play at the end of the half. Kaiser, a little bit of a limp in his step as he comes back after the 33-yard gain.
Kaiser takes a shot as he steps into this throws, hangs in there, turns it loose right on the money. Great job. Great job of going up with your hands by Claypool, catching it out in his hands away from his body.
It was Malik McDowell who made that hit. That ball is dropped by Equinemius St. Brown. And incomplete. We told you at the start of the game, McDowell is the best guy up front. Here's his hit. Kaiser took it right in that thigh area.
That's keeping your focus downfield and making a throw. He did get up limping a little bit.
Kaiser led that to a terrific comeback against Virginia last year. The touchdown to Fuller to close it out in Charlottesville. The comeback against USC, against Temple as well. Hasn't been against a team this good and a hole this deep. Kaiser throwing to the middle of the field on the run. Brought in by Sanders inside the 15-yard line. And the Irish picking up chunks of yards now. 35 on that game.
McDowell comes up through the middle. He'll be on the right side here. Fights through. Great job of stepping up by Kaiser. Hitting Sanders coming across, deep across the field.
From the 13 on the slant, it is held onto by Hunter at the 5-yard line.
Again, he's getting vanilla looks. It's a 4-man front. Linebackers are at depth. There's no threat of a blitz, so he's standing there more comfortably and reading downfield.
Too early to go conservative for Michigan State defensively? I mean, they were up 36-7 when they started that.
But you have to consider your offense. You figure you're going to be running the clock, if you can make a team go the length of the field. But especially now in this area, pin your ears back and come.
First down at the 3, touchdown 5 yards away. They throw it up from Boykin. Incomplete for the 6'4" receiver, covered by Deontay Copeland.
Michigan State really teaches their DBs to get aggressive and get your hands on the receiver. Inside out, hand fighting all over the place going on, just overthrown. Ball was actually in a good spot. Put it over to the outside shoulder, let your receiver go make a play.
Much controversy meeting with these teams back a few years ago when there were 5 holdings or pass interference penalties called on Michigan State, and Notre Dame put it up top. Tommy Rees is the quarterback. He threw it up top 20 times. Now again, trips to the boundary. They ran out of this set an option earlier. This time they will hand it off inside, and Folston is stopped. He is stoned. No gain. And 4th down and 2 coming up.
Down 22 points, you need 3 touchdowns, so it's all about sticking it in the end zone.
Yeah, not even a question. The field goal gets you to 19 and didn't get you anything.
There they did that look to get the option, but Michigan State had overshifted, had leverage, so they ran something, or Notre Dame ran something up inside. Big 4th down call. Again, Kaiser's probably going to make the final decision over the ball.
4th and 1. Adams in motion, joins Folston in the backfield. Folston blocks. Adams runs. He got hit hard, but got to the 3. It should be enough for the first down. Shane Jones at a Moeller High School in Cincinnati came in, made the big hit. The mark on the 3. Will it be enough? They may have to bring the chains over from. Well, it's on the chain side there. It looks like it should have gotten it, but they're going to bring him out. And they do have it first down. So, Doug, if they score here, it's a 15-point game. 15 points with 12 minutes left is not insurmountable.
Plenty of time to get the 3 scores if you can get the ball back defensively.
Interesting to see the spot on that as the submerged hit from Jones came. And Adams came down with the ball. Marked at the 2 and first and goal for the Irish.
It appears to be press man across the board. Look for a fade route, a ball thrown up over the top.
See the receivers with their hand signal. They got the adjustment of the play from Kaiser. Rolls it, throws it, incomplete. Trying to get to his tight end, Durham Smythe, and Deshaun wants to know why there wasn't a flag there.
It appears he trips over his own feet. He's just trying to reach. Actually, that was an attempt at a rub screen, but it was done legally, so it didn't work.
Pick.
Right? If you run it as a true pick, or pick guys off, it'll work.
Second and goal. Look over to the sideline for how they want to adjust this play. Instead of Kaiser doing it at the line of scrimmage, which he has done really for most of the games thus far this season. He will keep it and power his way into the end zone. And the Irish are climbing back in this one. There's an unsportsmanlike conduct coming on Michigan State after the play, I believe. Left side of that line, Doug, along with Colin McGovern pulling from the right side, clearing the path there for the quarterback Kaiser.
And it was McGlinchey that scored with his man Williams into the end zone as Kaiser stayed right on him.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 4.
It's Malik McDowell.
That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the kickoff.
So it gives you options from the 50-yard line if you ever did want to try an onside kick, or you can pin him back to the 25 and turn it over to your defense, knowing it's a longer field for Mark D'Antonio's team. So Notre Dame has gotten closer. And while it felt like we were selling a good story,
I thought we were just trying to sell it. We were trying to sell it.
36-7, you looked at me, I looked at you like, okay, you're going to try to sell this or am I? And you're about a couple of plays away from saying, boy, Flutie, you're brilliant, you know? Good drive for Kaiser. It's been a while since we said that. C.J. Sanders downfield with a big catch, got him in the red zone. Kaiser took it in. Irish still in it, down 15. A lot of time left. Tank was empty here in South Bend among the 80,000 plus on hand on this Saturday night. This primetime Michigan State Notre Dame 78th renewal. This old Midwestern rivalry, but the fans are back in it. What do you do, Coach Flutie? 36-21. The penalty allows the Irish to kick off from midfield.
It's so tempting to go for the onside kick or something funky. I think you pooch it down in the corner and try to pin them deep rather than kicking out of the end zone. But you've got to get it downfield. Don't go for a true onside kick.
Steps up to it. He will pop it up into a vacant area, and the Spartans are able to chase it down and get out of bounds at the 20-yard line. That's exactly what you were suggesting, Doug, during the break. And Delton Williams, the running back, went over to get it and haul it in for the Spartans, who will start to Eastern as the chase, the sprint up begins. Important drive if Notre Dame wants to make the rest of the fourth quarter meaningful. Gerald Holmes, the running back from Michigan State. Drive start from the 21. It's R.J. Shelton around the edge, and a good first down gain to the 27, gain of 6.
They have used that motion and sweep all day long and been successful all day because they can block on the perimeter. Basically anything they've tried running the football has been successful.
We'll keep an eye on 59 left tackle there. David Beadle for Michigan State. Ginger on that knee as that play was ending up. He's kind of rubbing it in the huddle a moment ago. He's got a tight end helping him here on 2nd and 3. And he's right back to Holmes. He's just going to be short of the first down. And for Sebastian, the safety.
There's a nice hit up out of the secondary by Sebastian. Creates the third down situation, even though it's third and very short. Again, Sebastian comes up, fills hard, full speed, no hesitation. Almost helmet to helmet, but both guys trying to get low and drive.
We'll have Drew Tranquil in the secondary. Sebastian, the 6th-year senior, seeing some time here. As you said, 3rd and short. Holmes, left side, just changes the line there. Changes that line of scrimmage. The fullback out in front of him, too. Prescott line to move the chains as we'll dive under 10 minutes here in the 4th.
Watch your fullback 45 plowing up through, and 64 Clemens pulling around. When you have everyone up in gaps, by pulling linemen, you can go down and create a seam and a crease. Rather than just being a push, you get angles on defenders. And this offensive line has washed people down all day and gotten the kick out and created huge creases.
Prescott line, a Michigan kid from Oxford, Michigan, went to SMU as mentioned earlier. So Zach, fullback in the NFL. From the 33, it'll be a first down throw. The flag down and line the fullback with the catch to the 36-yard line. But what did you ask about Lyon? His ability to catch? Kind of a fullback receiver?
Well, they use a lot of tight ends.
Illegal formation. 5 men in the backfield by the offense. That penalty is declined. 2nd out.
It's an interesting decision there. Decline the penalty, take the
He completed
game.
the pass.
Yeah, and the game was 2 yards, so really 3 yards. So instead of 1st and 15, perhaps with the thought of trying to preserve some clock, they'll take 2nd and 7 instead.
I think I might have backed him up there.
Yep.
But the point we were making earlier is that he's basically an interchangeable guy with the tight ends, and the tight ends are interchangeable fullbacks.
Empty the backfield here for O'Connor. A designed run. The quarterback draw will bring up 3rd and 3 as Greer Martini tackles Tyler O'Connor.
There was a huge hole there at the point of attack, but Martini ran it down from the backside. Another 3rd down situation. I mean, look at this crease that is created north and south if Martini doesn't make that tackle.
Student section trying to urge their fellow students to come up with a stop.
You just sell out for run and try to hold up one-on-one in coverage and hope you hold up on the back end if you're trying to get this stop.
Fullback line comes there. Irish bring pressure. Holmes in trouble. Goes down at the 30. That's a loss of 9 yards. Isaac Rochelle with the play, and Brian Van Gorder brought some heat. And now the Irish going to get the ball back with about 8 minutes remaining.
Great job by Rochelle keeping contain on the outside. Keeping contain and leverage, and then finishing off with the tackle as well. But that was a jailbreak up front. Everybody pinned their ears back and went. Notre Dame defense holds.
Hart Barger will punt it. We'll see if C.J. Sanders will get an opportunity with some space to put an electrifying return on. Irish bring pressure. Hart Barger kicks to the sidelines, well away from Sanders. It's a very smart and well executed kick by Hart Barger. The Irish defense gave up another first down, but got the ball back after 4 minutes. So Notre Dame, if they can score on this drive, they're back in it. The defense gave them some hope. Notre Dame scored the first 7, then Michigan State 36 in a row. The Irish have come back-to-back drives with touchdowns. Doug, Michigan State's defense not as aggressive the last 2 drives. What do you think we'll see here?
They've got to try to turn it up, get some pressures. Defensive line has got to pick back up the intensity they had earlier. Here they come off the edge. A lot of 4-man rush the last couple series.
We've been bouncing around to other games. That's what Michigan State has shown Kaiser a lot. Kaiser loading, looking, going to launch it deep downfield for Equinemius St. Brown. There's contact, and a 15-yard pass interference flag will bring Notre Dame to the 46-yard line. Deontay Copeland, and I think when we were talking about how this game was going to play out, we thought we'd see more of that and testing the Michigan State corners from the Irish.
Absolutely. We thought we'd see a lot of balls being thrown down that would be 50-50 type balls because of how aggressive the corners play. Copeland on St. Brown.
Pass interference. Defense, number 14. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
What made the play was St. Brown turning his head and going back towards the ball. Copeland reaches thinking St. Brown might be going, like the ball may be arriving right then and there. So it was a good effort to go after the ball, created the contact.
So it was at 14. It was, in fact, 13 Copeland. Whistle being blown to reset the play clock. As Notre Dame has it just about the halfway point of this fourth quarter and down 15. And they have it at the 46-yard line. Irish trail by 29. Late third quarter. Kaiser lofted, wide open. Stepherson, first down, Spartan territory. Right at the 35, John Reschke made the tackle.
Tyson Smith out there in coverage, but it was a corner blitz coming from the weak side, and Kaiser stood in there and threw the ball to the wide side of the field.
Kaiser taking some hits.
Standing there, here comes a corner blitz off the blind side. They went ahead and got a little pop on him. I think it's Copeland coming off the weak side.
Notre Dame is much more effective moving the ball here. The last two drives, Kaiser pumping, looking deep, going to put it up, 4 grabs and incomplete. Trying to get Stepherson, but that time Copeland was step for step with him.
Kaiser's kind of in the mode right now of, I'm going to do what I want to do. We got double moves called. I'm throwing it no matter what. The ball that St. Brown got the interference on, Copeland was stride for stride with him. And again there with a double move, Copeland was stride for stride. And Kaiser's trying to hang in there and maybe force. You don't have to force anything right now. There's still plenty of time to finish this drive off.
Great point. You still can methodically get the ball down the field here with 7:07 to go. 4-man rush. Kaiser over the middle. Incomplete for the tight end, Durham Smythe. The coverage is pretty solid as the linebackers drop back, bringing third down up.
There's Tyson Smith on the coverage. A big body guy, a tight end, gets leverage. The ball should be on his inside just a little bit. I think that's a nice defensive play, arriving just as the ball arrives. Maybe a fraction of contact, but that's a good defensive play.
4 down territory, 3rd and 10 at the 35. Now they show the pressure inside. Dowell and Bulla drop back. It's only a 3-man rush. Kaiser underneath. St. Brown going to get there and get out of bounds. First down for Equanimous St. Brown at the 23-yard line.
You hit the nail on the head. The time to throw and stand. Kaiser looks a lot more comfortable after a few completions of hanging on the ball a little bit longer. Sits in there. Great job on the left side by McGlinchey. Holds that pocket, allows him to go from deep to short and hits the underneath route.
At the 23-yard line, 6:45 to go here in the fourth. The Michigan State pressure picked up. Kaiser's got nobody open, so he just benches it, throws it out of bounds. Kaiser numbers here, Doug, 17 of 32. He's over 300 yards passing, 313. He's run 2, and he's thrown 1 tonight. But responsible for 3 touchdowns.
So much is thrown on his shoulders in this offense. I mean, he's getting them in and out of plays at the line of scrimmage, in and out of protections, throwing the ball, running the ball, scoring the touchdowns with his legs as well as passing TDs. It's all resting on his shoulders.
Statistically, his 3rd 300-yard game. That was Notre Dame career, had 2 last year. 2nd and 10. Wide side throw, caught by Hunter. First down for Torrey Hunter Jr. And the Irish are in the red zone with 6.5 to go. $11 there for Hunter, back off the concussion, 4 catches tonight.
He's doing a nice job of reading blitzes off the backside, knowing where the soft off coverage is and getting the throws out.
Turning clock, 6:16 to go. Kaiser looked left, fires that way, end zone. Hunter couldn't bring it in. Copeland in coverage to try to make that this running catch in the outfield. He was drafted by the Los Angeles Angels. Of course, his dad, Torrey Hunter, terrific 19-year Major League career.
Throws over to the backside shoulder, a little too far. Great effort, though, with the reach. Michigan State's bringing more pressure now. They're leaving those guys out there one-on-one on the corner now and trying to get – sometimes it's hard to throw that switch back to pressure defense.
The Spartans feel a little more on their heels here. Again, rushing 4. Kaiser pumped it, fires in the middle, touchdown! Smythe
And the Irish are right back in this one.
Great job of being patient in the pocket for Kaiser. Smythe tries a double move down the middle of the field, and he gets hung up for a second. Hanging on his back foot, Kaiser still delivers a throw. He goes to make the move, gets hung up on Bola, and then the ball is thrown. So it wasn't a rhythm throw. Kaiser held on to it, stayed on his back foot, and then turned it loose.
Exactly what they needed. 8 plays and 69 yards in a minute 45. Must extra point here by Yoon to make it a one-score game. And he does, and here we go. So you thought it was over. The Irish, who scored the first 7, then gave up 36, have scored 21 in a row. Third touchdown pass by Kaiser. This one to his tight end, Smythe. All of a sudden, we have a ball game here in South. Just under 13 minutes ago, the Irish were down 36-7. Since then, 3 touchdowns. Students are on their feet. Energy back in the stadium. Irish back in this one. Spartans now have pressure to handle. Stewart waiting for the kick. He'll field it at the 4. Good hang time on this kick. At the 25, he'll bring it out across the 29 to the 30-yard line, where he's finally brought down. So for Cheetah with the tackle. 5:55 to go. Kaiser's got the Irish back in it. If you are a fan of the Spartans, you're thinking a little bit of December 5th, 2015 would be nice right now. That's the night when Michigan State won the Big Ten championship over Iowa. They salted the game away. 22-play, 9-minute drive. They don't need all that. They just need to keep the clock and get first downs and grind it out on the ground. Man who was responsible for a lot of the drive yards that night, L.J. Scott. He's got it right now, and Scott has about 4 yards on first down. Isaac Rochelle the tackle. Irish have all their timeouts with 5:44 on that turning clock.
This Notre Dame defense has to sell out to stop the run. And we talked about it a little bit during commercial break that I'd go play action and just the safe play action pass where the fullback's in the flat. You make it look like the same play you just ran. Looks like it's going up inside. Just release that fullback and make a nice safe pass play out of it.
Spartans laid out of the huddle. They bring Damian Terry in at quarterback. The backup, they'll send Tyler O'Connor out to a receiver spot. Terry more of a runner. And he will do the design right here and not get anywhere. We'll show the tackle, third down, 5:07 to go. And it's about to get loud here at Notre Dame Stadium.
There's no deception here. I mean, you see number 6 in the ball game. It's a run. Just fly to it. Great job by Niles Morgan. Staying lateral. Isaac Rochelle chasing it down from the backside. Puts a tough third down situation now. But it's so much more difficult to throw the ball or convert on 3rd and 5 than it would have been on a 2nd down play action.
Need to get to the 40. O'Connor throws. No! Notre Dame is going to get the ball back.
A defense that could not get off the field the entire 2nd and 3rd quarter, all of a sudden with back-to-back stops.
Doug, here's what happened. Michigan State went into protect mode at 36-7. They shut it down, and you said it. Sometimes it's hard to put that new disc back in and reignite and get back to where you were, and they can't find it right now.
Absolutely. They started going 4-man rush, playing a little softer, backing off. Kaiser got his confidence rolling, and Notre Dame started moving the football.
Hartbarger's not letting Sanders catch him with space. He just did from the 23. Sanders hemmed in and brought down right around the 30-yard line. 4:18 to go. Kaiser getting set to come out on the field. Let's look at the last drive, Doug.
When they needed it, Kaiser was pump faking, wanted to force it down the field. Gets an interference call, 50-50 ball down the field. The key to this drive is offensive line play, though. Kaiser was not this clean early in the game. He was getting hit on every throw. Now he's standing cleanly, sees sight lines, throwing the ball and delivering. So the offensive line has picked up their game. Kaiser with a double move to the tight end. stick nod down the middle of the field for a touchdown to his big tight end.
Irish were down 29 tonight. Their largest comeback ever, down 22. The chicken soup game. Montana leading them back. 1978 in the Cotton Bowl against Houston. Can the Irish get back to force overtime here? Kaiser tried to throw it underneath. It was too hot and behind his intended receiver. It was incomplete. C.J. Sanders underneath was blanketed.
It's still a four-man rush. And I think the difference has been the pickups by the offensive line of Notre Dame to allow Kaiser to deliver the ball. There, he went through his progression, got hit as he threw. But in general, it's been a much better execution by the offensive line.
Tarian Folston is the back for this key drive. He helped try to block Malik McDowell. That pass is complete, too shy of the first down, caught by Equanimeous St. Brown. As we go under 4 minutes remaining, fourth catch of the night for St. Brown.
Kaiser stood tall on the back foot and delivered. Third down conversions look for a Kaiser run.
So often that first down of a drive, the hardest one to get when the pressure is on. Kaiser surveys, trying to take off, can't get away, brought down. Raekwon Williams, the redshirt freshman from Chicago. Biggest defensive play so far. Let's see what Brian Kelly will do after that 5-yard loss. It's 4th and 7, 3:37 to go. They're going to take a timeout here to make the decision.
Boy, there wasn't a lot there, I didn't think. I was looking downfield for a route. It looked like it was good coverage. If Kaiser had thought to maybe take off a little quicker, he might have had a crease, but things close up quickly for him. The coverage downfield looked pretty solid to me. Although right there off the line, maybe C.J. Sanders if it's quick, but other than that, there was pretty darn good coverage on that play.
Credit to Spartans. You saw right before the snap, Chris Fry, the linebacker, went all the way back to the middle of the field safety, and they did a good job keeping everything covered. Interesting to think about this, Doug. Now you're 4th and 7 with 2 timeouts left, 3:37. Do you trust your defense enough to punt it away and hope that you get the ball back? And that's what Brian Kelly's going to do, knowing your offense, a couple of first downs, and you don't get back on the field.
Coach, if I'm Kaiser, I'm lobbying to go for it. I'm feeling good about myself right now. We've been moving the football, and I don't trust anybody's defense anyway. But
said by a quarterback.
By a quarterback.
Yeah. So Tyler Newsome will come on to kick it away. Michigan State plays it safe. It's a great kick by Newsome. Fair caught at the 14-yard line by the backpedaling R.J. Shelton. So Newsome does his job to make it a long field with 3.5 remaining.
I say I'm lobbying. I'm not saying it's the best percentage move. But offensively, Michigan State's gone a little conservative. And Tyler O'Connor, a couple of series ago on the third down play, I thought he had a curl route open on the rollout and decided not to pull the trigger, tried to run for it, and got tackled. On the last drive, he might have been able to stick that completion in there for the first down, but a defensive back was breaking on the ball, so he threw it low and away and played it safe. He's played it a little too safe the last couple of possessions, and they end up 3 and out.
L.J. Scott will be the running back for this drive. 3:30 left, and Notre Dame with 2 timeouts to use.
All right, 3 offensive linemen to the left side.
And Scott will work that way. He will gain a yard or 2. Second down coming up.
Notre Dame's doing a better job of squeezing those lanes. When you feel the kick-out block coming, they're closing down and making that little crease tighter and just bunching people up. So it's not gashing them for 7 or 8. It's maybe a push for 2 or 3.
And that's different. And the way this defense looked, they were on the ropes. A lot of plays they faced in that third quarter onslaught. And Michigan State scored 21. 2nd and 8, leading all of the play clock. Scott bouncing it to the outside. Can he get there? No. Wallow did a good job on the edge. And Avery Sebastian, who's done a good job in the second half from the safety position. And Notre Dame uses its second time out here with 2:36 to go in regulation.
What a job by Onwallo. Onwallo closes this down like I was just talking. He's coming from the left side of the screen and takes a shoulder and keeps it tight inside. So when Scott tries to bounce it, he still has leverage and comes out and makes a play. Great job of taking on a fullback's block and what Bill Belichick would say, setting the edge to turn it up. Scott still tried to bounce it. Onwualu kept a free arm on the outside.
Not bad for a guy who, when these two teams last played, he was a wide receiver.
He was a wide receiver.
Bounced around, tried to find a position, and finally ended up here on this side of the ball and has become a captain. Rare that you get that, though.
A guy that bounces around the 3 different positions, you know he's a decent football player and they're trying to find a spot for him. But when that's happening, you're not expecting a guy that's going to become a captain of your football team. And he's been resilient. He's been a big part of his team and a starter. And there, a huge play on 2nd down, creating another huge 3rd down opportunity.
I said, what did he tell us? I figured out I wanted to be the hammer, not the nail. So he moved over to defense. And now they're going to have to find a way to make a play here, or it may be a shut case for the Irish in terms of this comeback. 3rd and 7. Spartans need to get to the 24-yard line. O'Connor will throw for it. And he'll fire. Far side, wide open at the 45-yard line for the first down is Donnie Corley Jr. Huge first down gain of 28 for Michigan State.
Cole Luke is playing the deep 3rd of the field. I believe up top here, he gets his eyes inside and looking up the seam, expects the seam route to be thrown, and then all of a sudden leaves his man. And the ball's thrown outside.
And those were some of the basics that hurt them in the game at Texas when Shane Buechele hit those big plays, basic coverage busts. Now 2:04 left, just 1 timeout. Michigan State very close to closing this out. It's Holmes with the carry to midfield, and Kelly will use the final timeout that he has. And he may get a couple of seconds back on the clock, as he had called it a few seconds earlier. Brian Kelly in disbelief there of what happened in his secondary as Brian Van Gorder's defense got back in it.
I mean, he's basically in deep 3rd coverage, and they throw a go route in front of him. That's a ball that can wind up being intercepted if you stay home. If it wouldn't have been thrown if he were sitting in his 3rd. He was trying to make a play by eyeing a guy coming up the seam, thinking he might be able to break on a ball, started drifting, left his responsibility. Big conversion for Michigan State.
1:57 left, out of timeouts. You're almost at a scenario where the best, as long as Michigan State runs the ball twice, the best you can do is probably get the ball back with a half-minute left. As you see the scores from earlier today, Notre Dame will play Duke here next Saturday. Duke was losing to Northwestern at last check. But again, the bigger picture for Notre Dame of this comeback that might fall a drive short, as Kelly still tries to get the answers from his defensive coordinator. Notre Dame's going to lose 2 of their first 3, and you can recover from an early loss to get back in the playoff mix. You can recover from an early loss, especially if you're in a conference. The stated goal of being a part of the college football playoff, like the Spartans were last year, is slipping out of the grasp for the Irish here, unless they can make something special happen. 2nd and 5 for MSU. Holmes. He is met by Drew Tranquil and stopped. Play clock will reset at 1:50. Spartans will snap it with about 1:10 left for 3rd down. So the Spartans next week play Wisconsin. As we said, this is their toughest road test that they'll have all year. They go to Indiana, to Maryland, to Illinois. They get the Wolverines and the Buckeyes coming to their place. Wisconsin's also ranked number 9, but they had a sweat one with Georgia State earlier today.
There were a few. Iowa wasn't too happy today either, talking Big Ten.
No, Iowa losing to North Dakota State, the Bison. 3rd and 3, must stop for the Irish. Spartans get this one, they close it out. R.J. Shelton on the edge, seals this one. Shelton down at the 25-yard line, and the Spartans are going to go back winners here tonight.
This has been the play that has killed Notre Dame all night long. Shelton running tough, pulling offensive linemen, getting on the corner, big guys on little guys, getting outside, off and running, hit the crease, broken tackle. Drew Tranquil had a shot at him. Once he got to the secondary, I'm thinking let him score defensively.
Yeah, and I was thinking
that's your only hope defensively is if he takes that all the way to the end zone, be down 2 scores.
And I'm thinking Shelton should go down there and end the game, but
Absolutely.
Michigan State is going to come in here, Doug, 500 total yards of offense. They'll lose 1 here on the kneel down. But how about Tyler O'Connor? You have started 2 road games. Get that ball back, Tyler. Absolutely. I hope they give it to you because your 2 road starts at number 2 Ohio State as an Ohio native, and you won. And as a kid who came here to South Bend and watched the Irish play, your 1 game played at Notre Dame Stadium, your 2nd road start, you get a win as well. Pretty nice story to tell for a 5th-year senior.
Phenomenal effort. Phenomenal effort. Ran with the ball, key completions. Even towards the end of the game, he was conservative with the ball towards the end of the game, but it played out. He knew what kind of defense he had. He knew they could run the football at times. And he's not a manager of the game. He runs the show with this offense.
And he ran a balanced offense tonight. Here's Catherine Tappan with the winning coach.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. Coach, you just let out a sigh of relief. Describe what it was like coaching in this game tonight.
He was tight. There's no question. It's a pressure-type game. Great comeback by Notre Dame. I thought our guys played really well, but, we almost, fouled it away there at the end. But great catch by Donnie Corley. Great run by R.J. Shelton, puts it in the bank. So exciting.
Notre Dame was down 29 points, but they certainly made it interesting there at the end of the game. What changed for them, and how did you manage to hold them off?
Well, Deshaun Kaiser's, he started hitting his plays. He went downfield a little bit. He's got great poise, and you saw them do that against Texas as well. They got a great football team, and, they're never going to be out of a football game. That's just the way it is. They did a great job coming back.
What does this win mean for your season?
Big win. This quality win for us, got to get ready for Wisconsin next week, but quality win and exciting for our players.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mike.
Thanks, Catherine. The win for the senior O'Connor here in South Bend as the Notre Dame players listen to the alma mater. The joy that has been played the last 7 games here as Notre Dame sees a 7-game home winning streak snap, and the Spartans will enjoy their song and their trip back to East Lansing as victors here tonight. 36-28, our final score in South Bend. Brian Kelly's full press conference available for you at NBCSports.com. Coming up next, except on the West Coast, it's your local news. Tomorrow's Packers-Vikings Sunday Night Football. We'll start with Football Night in America at 7 Eastern Time. Next Saturday, right back here in South Bend as the Irish take on Duke. NBCSN coming up with the Notre Dame post-game show with Doug Flutie, Catherine Tappan, Pierre Musa, Rob Hyland leading our great crew of the truck, Mike Tirico. Good night from South Bend. Thanks for watching Notre Dame football, presented by Verizon.